G'day, you mob. Someone's got to remind me in the chat to clear my throat before I start. I think that's about the 47th week in a row where I've done that. Also, maybe having internet issues in my town, as mentioned in the chat earlier. If people experience what do you call it? Interruptions, lagging, buffering, any of that stuff, let me know, please, so I can endeavour to do something about it. My plan, if the Wi-Fi and the internet to the home fails, I know my phone data signal is not super strong around here, so I may try a switch to that if we have any major dramas. Crikey. Lots of people present in the chat, and S back in the running on the championship of the bucket of kudos. Another one for you in the post, S. BJ, how's it going? Oh, and hello, S, by the way. Not just bucket of kudos, but hello. BJ, Alan Matthews, g'day. Lefty, how's it going? Long time no see, I think. Maybe. Anyway, welcome back, Lefty. Good to see your pretty face. Kind of. Loose. 503. Oh, I did see BJ popping up in the comments on my YouTube videos. See if I can make more videos in the near future. New local Austin. Hello, new local Austin. I recognize that avatar, so I'm assuming a name change, perhaps. Big D, what's going on? M&C, hello there, welcome. Geek Boy, g'day. Pardon me. Off and firing nice and early. Zen Ginger, hello Zenny, how do you do? Good to see you, of course. Not that I can see you. Rico Stan, how do? Who else have I missed? Mitch Matchstocks. I'll just say Jess, shall I? Hello, Jess. Clearly, words are not going to be my forte today. M&C Aquatics, are you new here too? Welcome if it's your first time. Chewy, the lunatic fringe, how do you do? Good day, sir. Freaky fish lady, hi. Holly.
Knock, knock.
Hello.
Hey, Michael.
Hey, Paul, how are you?
Good, thanks, and you?
Yeah, well, thank you. They're just in there at the table. Sorry about that. Alyssa Bentley, hello. Very early 90s Seattle garage band feel. Yes, it's probably almost from the 90s, that song. It's very, 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 very old. Zip Gun, how's it going? Whoops. Leapy, leapy, chatty, chatty. Yeah, I thought I hadn't seen you around, Lefty. 10 months, you reckon? It's a fair withdrawal period you must have went through. Two Dogs, how's it going? Muppet 929, also haven't seen your face around here for a wee bit. Welcome back. GRB, how's it going, bro? Thank you, M&C. Audio, video, good. Yeah, keep me posted if it stuffs up. And for now, speaking of people who haven't been here for a while, Let's get a look at what's going on in this kid's life.
Hello.
That was a very, very delayed reaction by the audience with their applause then.
Yeah,
They took their sweet time, didn't they?
that's all right. How's it going, man?
Good, man. How you going?
Yeah, pretty good. Had it fucking shaved the last couple of days. I got rid of my long beard. Feels a bit weird.
It does feel odd when you do that. I went a little bit nuts with the scissors and tidied mine up with the scissors. I thought I'd go old school and have a crack with the scissors.
Yeah, good scissors in the kits, aren't they? I had a trim with them as well.
Actually, I used suture scissors, you know, the ones that they cut your stitches out with.
Oh, right. Yeah, nice.
They seem to stay sharp, nice and long, even though they dispose of them after you use them in the surgery.
Right. I'm on the dragon fruit Red Bull. Very yummy.
Lucky you don't have a green screen going for that can. It'd make all sorts of... That didn't make as loud a bang as I thought it would, knocking stuff on the floor.
Nice. My son.
G'day, Canisteo. How are you? Now I've put fluff on my face or something. I've also been bleeding from the ear this morning. It's been interesting.
Just up the top.
In there, I think I've
right.
scratched it with my fingernail potentially through the night or this morning when I woke up.
Right, yeah.
G'day, Ames Spirit Rebel Fish. Crikey.
Rebel Fish.
It's a little bit of a mouthful to say, that one. If I'd had a few more syrups in me, I'd probably struggle to say those 4 words together. Luckily, it's still early in the day, so I'm not drunk. Oh, look out. We've got another human in the background. Oh, I forgot to do the...
Hello.
Yeah, just... Hi, Scungy. How's it going?
Hi, it's going all right.
It's going good?
Yeah,
Good to see you.
Your audio sounds fantastic this week.
Yay.
It's almost like we may have done sound checks earlier. Almost. I forget what... Oh, that's right. I was going to say I just missed you and Em at the Woolworths the other day, Josh, just as yous were coming out the driveway. I think I was going in.
Okay.
But I didn't realise it was you guys until I was already up the driveway. So I did a futile wave.
No worries.
Assuming that people are always looking at me.
Yeah. Has StreamYard got an upgrade?
Has it?
I think so, because it's chewing through my battery like a mofo.
StreamYard always does that, I've found, on mobile.
Yeah.
I've always found that if I'm using my mobile as an extra camera, I try and plug it in because it certainly sucks the juice out of it. But yeah, I think they have been... they've certainly been trying to do things with StreamYard to encourage people to use it more and potentially upgrade as well. Like I got another special offer where I think it'll cost me like $16 a month if I buy a year's worth. But yeah, I'm still tossing up whether that's value for money or whether more value for money is to actually sit down and learn freaking ABS or OBS. Yeah, that one. Sitting down to learn stuff seems, potentially worth paying $16 not to have to learn stuff. Maybe. Especially, I think most people that use OBS tend to require a second screen.
Right.
Which, as I keep this computer indoors most of the time and bring my setup outside to do my stream. I don't think I want extra equipment to be setting up. I think that's why I gave up on my little mixing desk with sound effects and stuff, because it was just an extra piece of hardware that I didn't necessarily want to mess around with.
Okay.
Oh, look out. Let's do this whole bloody thing again. Oops, I've got to actually push the button for it to work. At least they responded quick smart this time. Oh, that's right. I had it on pause, so you just got the arse end of the crowd's applause. Well done. Your timing's impeccable.
What's going on? Oh my
Oh,
god, the whole gang's here. What are we doing?
The whole gang is here. We should play Scrabble or Monopoly or something. Risk. Let's have a game of Risk.
That's right. The game of world
Pictionary.
domination.
Pictionary. That's not a bad idea.
Oh.
But yeah, does it work? Do you have to like draw a little bit and show a little bit and do that? You'd have to do that, wouldn't you?
I mean, there will be other ways around it, but you could do it that way.
I'm kind of forgetting. Oh, that's right, because people watch as you draw, don't they? So they can continually guess. Yeah. I hope you're listening, StreamYard. Pick your act up and get some bloody games going in here. Stephen P, double M, triple I, how's it going? Rico Stan says the arse end is the best bit. The best part, even. Oh, GRB slinging some links. We like those links to be slung.
Slinging links around.
So yeah, what's going on in your world, Corby?
What's nightmare fuel? You know,
Nightmare fuel. Renovation stuff.
I am headed to. I'm headed to Peru, like tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going to Peru.
Well, that's
Yeah.
Exciting. Was that spur of the moment? Were you keeping that a big secret or something, or am I just that out of the loop that I've not heard this information?
Oh, it was definitely last minute ish. Like I found out like a week ago or whatever. Yeah, so it's a little bit crazy, but you know, it is what it is. I'm trying to get your chat open here.
Who are you going with? Kobe?
Yeah, I'm going with the aquarium co-op. Dean and Corey and Randy.
Randy. Who's this
Randy.
Randy fella? See,
He works for the co-op. He's the I don't know, the director of something. I don't know. He does logistics and stuff.
He's the director of getting Corvus to Peru.
No, no, that's not his job. No.
One moment, I have to mute myself. Talk amongst yourselves.
Uh-oh. He's got to mute himself.
Blow.
We're gonna go see if we find some fish.
Cool. What's your targets?
Yeah, 503 Aquatics says, Joel, I find Peru terrifying. I'm a wimp. Everybody that's going on the trip other than me is like super lackadaisical about going. They're like, malaria is not a big deal. Whatever. I've never caught it. And they're like, yellow fever's not a big deal. Whatever. I never caught it. Whatever. You know.
They've all done it multiple times, haven't they? Or at least Kobe and Dean have.
I mean, yeah, they've been a couple of times for like, you know, week-long periods or whatever, but I suppose it's going to be fine. But, you know, I don't know if they've ever gone and had to wear 2 face masks the whole time.
Ouch.
Yeah, right. A little bit different.
You know, so, and the Zen Ginger brings up that I'm terrified of the butt worms, which I feel like that's a reasonable fear to have, that you get that parasite in your butt that grows into a giant worm.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like that's you guys
a
are in
valid
Australia, the land of scary things, right?
Yeah, we
You
don't
know?
have butt worms.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it doesn't matter whether you have them or not. That's a terrifying proposition, right?
Well, the proposition itself leaves me with some trepidation for wanting to experience it. That's for sure.
Right. For getting involved.
Yeah,
Trying to figure out how to get involved at the ground level. Yeah, it was really kind of wild because I was talking with my health advisor from the hospital. It's the travel doctor, or one of the many, right? And it was funny because she had a checklist that she was going down, right? Of like, hey, here's what you need to avoid. Here's what you need to avoid. You should probably avoid this. This is something you should probably not be involved in. Here's something that you should watch out for. And every single thing on the list was like, that's what we're going to be doing. Yeah, we're gonna be doing that also. Yeah, we're gonna be doing that. Yep. And she was like, okay, well, just I'm gonna give you every single shot and every medication I can, and hopefully you'll be all right. It's like, great.
I googled up Peru buttworm, so I've got some light reading for after the stream.
Yeah, it's a strong one. And the reason that got brought up, to me was because like my mom was she worked in the hospital for like 45 years. She was a ER charge nurse. And that was her knee jerk immediate story about Peru was her friend having the buttworm situation. And yeah.
So that the larvae somehow gets into your butt and then becomes a worm, does it?
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty good. Oh, Big D Smoke says you lost me at buttworms. Well, he's moving to Panama, and yeah, my guy, you should be aware.
The Big D's moving to Panama.
The buttworms live in Panama also, just so you know. Tropical.
Apparently they're coming to Europe as well, according to one of my Google search results.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Well, probably one of those things that no one should experience, but why not have a go once in your life? Get a worm up your butt.
Yeah, hope not.
If it happens, it happens, isn't it? And what are you working on today, Scungy? So you're busily, feverishly scratching away there.
I don't know. I'm just.
A lot of people have been asking about the pee hole fish. There's like a fish that will jump up your urine stream.
Yeah. Candiru.
People keep asking about that one, and I don't know if that fish is in Peru or not. But I would imagine the Scungy would probably do a painting of it.
A painting of the action of a candiru swimming up a stream of urine.
Yeah, the candiru, right?
I think it's best said in a Japanese accent. It sounds like a very Japanese word. Kanduru.
Well, that makes it sound a little bit more serious, doesn't it? But yeah. I kind of liked the candiru because it sounds so friendly and playful, which it most certainly must be. So
yeah, that's one way to get people interested.
That's right. You lure them in with candy.
G'day MTFNF, how's it going? Yeah. I agree with Alyssa too that the perils of the candiru.
Oh yeah, candiru is found in Peru. Yep, it's there. Brazil, Colombia, Ecuador, and Peru, and Bolivia. Yep. Whether it's in the river that we're going to or not, I don't know, but it's said to be there. So if you're going to be peeing in the river, you got to be paying attention. Otherwise, you could get a fish up your urethra. That's the technical way of putting it, right?
Surely they.
I think that's the opposite of a pleasurable experience. I think
Yeah, surely the best defense would be a what do they call them? A condom catheter.
Yeah.
I think they call it
Wafty.
sounding, right?
Sounding. What's that?
You'll have to
mean?
look that up after the stream.
Right.
Yeah. I think putting an object up there to prevent some fish going up there, nah.
No. Well, the fish apparently it mistakes the what chemical is it? Well, it's one of the chemicals in the urine for the expelled that which is being expelled from
A
the
potential mate.
the cat's gill or the other fish's gills, basically.
Okay.
So it's like it's not necessarily trying to get up a urethra, like it's not doing that on purpose. But that's the horror stories of how that fish comes to be discovered.
Okay.
Yes. I missed that completely too, Doug's. That after the stream, yeah, that's when the kangaroo strikes.
After the stream.
Nice one. Gotta love a P link.
All right.
And,
Hey, you got to tell me, are you guys on like massive lockdown now or what?
it seems to be going on all over the place. It's getting a bit hectic. Getting like
It's-
100 new cases a day or some nonsense.
It's more Sydney City that's getting caned by 4-kilometer distances and shit, and being stuck to your local government area if you're not an essential worker.
Right.
So there's still happy fun time parties in the park on the weekend up here. Music,
Yeah.
dancing, cuddling.
People are going crazy in the States. I'll tell you that. It's not,
Yeah, I watched a bit of Lollapalooza. That was awesome.
yeah, good.
They let them in if they had vaccinations or if they had a pass on the test within 72 hours, I think it was.
Oh
But
yeah, and everybody showed up with a fake one. So yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I watched Limp Bizkit live. That was fucking hilarious.
That was pretty funny, I would admit.
You did watch it? Fred Durst looking like old dad. That was awesome.
Yeah, I didn't watch it like live. I watched the recording because he came up and played with Mark Rebier.
Yeah. Okay. I saw Mark at the end. He got a shirt. That was awesome.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, Fred Durst was at Lollapalooza. And then somebody was like, yeah, dude, they played a full set. And I was like, oh, okay. So and checked it out. And then I realized he was cosplaying like an old man. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Was he?
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, man, that's the right cosplay to go with, man. You got to lean into it, dude. Like,
Fucking nice.
you don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be that guy who's like, because he's probably like what 55 or something like that now, probably.
At least 50, yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to be that guy who's like 50 but acting like they're still 25.
Still a
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you still might have it, you still might rock,
Yeah.
or whatever, but you don't want to. You want to lean into being old. You know what I'm saying? Like
He did it well. Someone
you want to
said
pad. You want to pad your years, right?
Yeah.
Because
yeah,
you don't want
yeah.
to look. You don't want to look bad for 45. You want to look good for 52.
50.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like so. I think it's the smart play. I think that's the smart move. You know.
What was Wes Borland wearing?
He looked
He was,
like a
he was wearing
Japanese
high
schoolgirl.
heels. He was
Yeah.
wearing high heels and stripper boots and a mask. It was all
And
wild. He was
long
doing,
black hair.
Yeah,
He
he was
looked like
doing wild stuff.
it was like a cross between an orc and a Japanese manga schoolgirl demon. It was pretty heavy.
I will say this: Wes Borland has been practicing because that dude was on point. There was just
He was
like no
He was on
flaws.
Yeah.
it was
He's
just,
a very,
just
very,
flawless.
very, very talented guitar player. I
mhm.
think.
Yeah.
I think I'd heard of him before I'd even heard of Limp Bizkit, so he must have
Yeah.
been doing stuff. But prior to then,
And
The super
DJ Lethal pulled it off so many times. They just went back to him just mixing and playing a few songs like House of Pain songs and
Yeah,
all different stuff, and the crowd just went crazy. Like bit of DMX. That was awesome.
yeah, that's the thing, man. You can definitely That's one of the great things about like having something like that in your back pocket. Like if you can lean into nostalgia correctly, like it comes off really well. Like if you can camp it up a little bit and be like, look, we are playing the stuff from the era. Like maybe they have a new album, who knows? But nobody's heard it, so it doesn't matter. Like I think it was really smart. Like I don't know if they came up with it, it was really smart. If whatever team worked for them came up with it, that was really smart. I don't know. I thought it was pretty good, and it looked like people had a lot of fun. I'm sorry to say it, but there's like now another 100,000 COVID cases probably though.
Yeah, we're certainly climbing again, and our nearest capital city, Brisbane, from Queensland, even they're getting more cases, and it seems that dickheads have travelled from places of heavy infestation like Sydney up to Cairns, because now we've got cases in Cairns, way up in the far north of Queensland. Yeah, I think people are a little bit disrespectful and doing the wrong thing.
Right.
But that's humans, really, isn't it?
Well, I mean, I'm going to Peru, so I mean, probably not the greatest time to ever do it, but opportunity came up, so I'm gonna go.
And I'm sure.
I mean, I've been vaccinated for months now, so it's like you know.
And
I don't know what else to do other than wear a mask when I go out and wash my hands a lot.
You're a reasonably sensible individual, so I'm sure you'll take all of the precautions required.
Well, like in Peru, if you're inside, you have to wear 2 masks. You got to double up. They're like, hey, one's not good enough. Okay, you need 2 masks. So, is that effective? I don't know, but I'm like, they've been dealing with malaria, so maybe they're just used to it. Like, hey, we got to take stuff seriously, and apparently people are. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, right. Maybe one mask for malaria.
I'll be man on the street interviewing people in Spanish.
Sweet.
And they'll be like, I don't know about COVID, and I'll be like, well, okay.
¿Cómo estás, Corona? Whatever that means.
I don't know. I forget what Corona means. I think Corona means
it's some kind of fancy hat that rich people wear, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't remember. Yeah, something to do with the sun or some shit.
Yeah, well, that's where we get Corona for. It's like a tiara type thing because of the corona that you see around the sun is like that.
Right.
White circular effect, I think.
Yes.
But yes, people are confirming it means crown.
Crown. That's what it was. Yep. Good.
And 503 brings up an interesting question. What if you get stuck there? What's the likelihood of getting stuck?
It's a monumental concern that I have about getting stuck anywhere when I'm traveling because it's happened. And I'm sure COVID's not going to help, but rest assured, I can generally figure out how to get out of places via money. That's pretty much what it boils down to. You're like, hey, I'm buying a ticket. I'm going to go this way. Hey, I'm buying a ticket. I'm going to go that way. Hey, I'm going to buy a ticket and I'm going to go that way. Pretty much what it boils down to. So
realistically, if you do get stuck, you can just walk home. It might take you a few weeks, but you're still connected.
Peru?
Yeah. It's a long walk, but you'll get there sooner or later.
It's like walking from one side of Australia to the other side.
Yeah.
I think literally. I think it's like
months.
It's been done.
Yeah, by like people that like almost all of them died in the way.
Yeah.
Or they do it for charity and they have a tour bus that flies along with them.
Yeah.
It's okay, hold on, let's do some math here. Copy. Control V to kilometers. So from my house to Peru is 7,837 kilometers.
Yeah, a delicate little stroll.
So considering I can hike I can hike probably 50 kilometers a day. And that's like with a pack and stuff. So that would take a really long time. Because the
But
Pacific
not
Crest Trail,
impossible.
so the Pacific Crest Trail goes from Mexico to north of where I live. And that takes 3.5 months to hike on foot.
You're talking
Yeah.
about from the Mexican border walking to your place. No, you got to
Yeah.
cheat that part. You fly that part.
Well, no,
Like
the
getting back into
Mexican
the US.
border. Okay, well, the Mexican border to the Canadian border has a Pacific Crest Trail, which I've mapped. Which the map exists. You can just look it up. Which
Yeah.
I've mapped out how long it would take me to hike it. Which I was going to take off 3.5 months, so I was going to do 4 months to do that trek. So it would probably take like a year of walking to get back home.
Okay.
So I don't think that's a good plan because you could literally hitchhike and probably go faster than that. You might be a victim of some serious crimes along the way, but probably make it. But yeah, getting stuck is definitely a concern. That anytime you travel long distances and you're far away, especially when you're in a foreign country, it is a concern about like getting back and getting stuck is a problem. But so even when the U.S. like stopped international travel, the way that the United States works is that they did was they stopped like foreigners from coming in. So that's one of the reasons why people were so critical of Trump at the time, because he's like, I stopped travel from China. And it's like, but like, he didn't stop travel from China. He just stopped Chinese people from traveling from China. It's like, there were tons of Americans. There was like 300,000 Americans came back from China in that time that he like had stopped travel from China. And it's like, you didn't stop any travel. You just stopped Chinese people from coming because a whole bunch of people with American passports just flew back to the States. And a friend of mine flew back from China when there was a travel ban, right? From China. They flew straight back from just outside of Wuhan, right? And I was talking with them because they flew into San Francisco, and I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, what was the COVID protocol like? Did you get off the plane and like, did you have to like get swabbed or find out anything?" And they're like, "No, they handed me a pamphlet that said I was supposed to self-quarantine for 2 weeks, but no one would enforce it. That was it. That's all they did."
Right.
And this was at the time when like we didn't even really know what COVID was. There wasn't any vaccines. There wasn't anything. And they were just like, yeah, just go home for 2.5 weeks. And if you don't get sick, then you're probably fine. That was it. That was what they said. But no one was going to follow up, or you weren't going to get in trouble if you didn't do it.
Right.
So
our police service
at this point, like me getting stuck for like a COVID reason is probably zero, because the United States won't stop us from coming back in, and Peru doesn't care if you leave. Peru cares if you're coming in with COVID. So there's a whole lot of paperwork. I got tested today. I'm gonna get tested again, and then like in one of the cities that we're in, they have rapid test locations that you get the result back in like 10 minutes. And that only costs, I forget how much it costs. I think it's like $8 or something American. So it's like, yeah, there's no reason for us to not get tested there. And then I'll get tested when I land here again. And then I'll even get tested like a week after I've been here, because you don't know if you catch it on the plane or whatever. So at the very least, I'll know, if I catch it, then I can mitigate what I'm doing. So,
Seriously, don't worry about COVID. Just worry about not bringing those butt worms back to Washington.
Okay, well, I don't want to bring COVID or malaria or anything home. So yeah, it's on my list of concerns. They don't stop you from traveling if you have malaria, though. So
Yeah.
they stop you from traveling. I bet if you told them at the airport that you had butt worms, they probably would tell you to not get on the plane.
Yeah.
I would guess, but I think it would be a recommendation.
Yeah.
Because like Peru's not going to tell like the people from the States to not leave. They're not going to like make you stay there.
Yeah.
Like what? And why would they? What would be the end game there? Like I don't know. So that I'm not too concerned about, but
Yeah, Zen Ginger, I believe, Beast did give the thumbs up so that you can post his link. If it wasn't him, it was probably me. But yeah, that's the right channel.
Yeah, no worries. Z-Beam is it.
Get him up. Get him some subs. Let's get him some subs.
I got the new waterfall.
One sec. I'll solo you so we can actually see that. Nice little hose modification. Good to see.
Yeah, I had to do that to get it over the bowl, and a bit of blue tack or white tack to stop the flow going over the edge. But the water's clearing up nicely. Don't know how the fish are liking it though. They've never had flow.
Yeah, they'll live with it.
They'll get used to the noise. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll enjoy it. They'll be right. You'll find that you'll have sword tails just sitting underneath the waterfall flow and enjoying the fresh water flowing over their bits.
Oh yes.
G'day, Ryan. Natural Aquariums in the house. How's it going? Hope I didn't miss anyone else on the hellos and whatnot.
S says, worst case scenario, you become a Peruvian fish exporter. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, that basically is the worst case scenario. I mean, luckily I'll be there with some, I'll be there with some people that have connections and they know what's going on and stuff. So, worst case scenario, I'm there for a couple extra days or something,
But essentially, I'm sure you're going to have a lovely time and, potentially find some nice fish. Are you going there hoping to bring some fish back into your country?
I'm not bringing anything back. I think Randy is, or Randy or Corey, or I don't know. Somebody's bringing some fish boxes to import some stuff, but I'm not planning on it. Do not have time to deal with the importing of wild caught fish.
Yeah, it seems like a hassle coupled with a burden.
It's just a lot, I mean, you take a wild caught anything and bringing it into an aquarium is, it's a task. Like, you're not gonna have very high survival rate. A lot of the stuff is just shock and adapt, and plus the whole exporting process in its own right is pretty wild. I know one year they were importing stuff that they caught in Peru, and then for some reason at the time, like all the boxes just got set out on the tarmac.
Oh,
and, it's like 100-degree weather out there. It just got left out there for a day and a half until like the next plane loaded it up and took them out. So a bunch of stuff showed up just dead,
rotten.
And it's like, I think in regular times it's crazy like that. And, now everything's just nuts, and the shipping people, like they're charging an arm and a leg for everything. So
yeah, no doubt. G'day, Joel G. Ian, how are you, fellas? Yeah, I would consider it to be just such a sketchy thing to do. It'd be so risky than whether you come out of it with any fish at all.
Right. I mean, the thing is, like, it's not super sketchy. It's the same thing. You're doing what the exporters do, which is, you catch the fish, you bring them into an aquarium, you get them to start adapting to living in an aquarium, and you get low survival rates. That's how it is. Like, it doesn't matter like how nice your aquarium is. It doesn't match up to the natural environment of the earth. You know,
Hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I know people that have 1,000-gallon tanks and stuff, and they're like, I've had I've had like reef tank people like, my tank is exactly the same as the reef, and it's like, no, it's not.
Hmm.
You have 1,000 gallons. How big is the ocean? Well, whatever, man. And they're like, okay, well, that's the point. It's just you're trying to do your best, but you're gonna run into issues. It's just how it is. Sometimes it's worth it. Sometimes it's worth it to get some fish, and they can acclimate, and you can start breeding tank raised fish. It's great, but it's a lot of hardships, and a lot of fish are going to die in the process, regardless
See you,
of how
Paul.
good
Take
you
care.
are. You know,
Yeah, well, fingers crossed. In the not too distant future, I'll be doing some wild caught stuff because I want to get my local prawns into my big tank. So
hell yeah.
I'm not paying shop prices for those things. They're ridiculous when I can just go for a little drive 10 minutes that way and go and catch some, and then watch them grow into large, spectacular creatures.
Hmm.
Makes sense.
Always keen on some more of those little shrimpies if you ever catch them, the clear ones, but not the big guys. Those big guys are scary.
Yeah, they're my prawns that I want.
Yeah.
All right. When I go, Scungy.
No, it's all right. I was just going to comment on how utterly adorable those big guys are with their stupid big arms and their little legs. They're so good. They're just so much fun to watch.
Yeah,
they're endearing. I don't know.
Yeah, there's something about them.
Yeah.
Clearly, Scungy and me are cut from the same cloth because we very, very much enjoy those prawns and all of the entertainment they've provided us when I used to have them. And, I forgive them for slaying most of my breeding guppies and cherry shrimp and stuff. I forgive them for that because they're just so great.
Yeah.
But do you really?
Yeah.
He does. They're endearing. They're very cool.
Maybe they did me a favor and, got me out of guppies for a little while.
Possible.
Because that's all I was doing was just guppies and cherry shrimp. And it was like, yeah, these prawns came along and said, you need a change of scenery, sir.
They're monsters. Did they all die out because they liked food? Is that what happened?
What, the prawns?
Yeah.
No, the
He
prawns
just put
died.
bigger fish in there.
Oh, and then they got smashed.
Yeah, circle of life, baby.
Damn.
Tis the circle of life.
Or as Qui-Gon Jinn would say, there's always a bigger fish.
Oh my God. Should we talk about the Bad Batch, or is that going to ruin the beasts?
Well, I was waiting for someone to leap on that segue.
Yeah.
Go for it, guys. I'm not too concerned.
Man.
Yeah, I found it was another. Hang on. Yeah, Scungy and I watched this. We watched the last two again on Friday night. And another good episode. And I am really, really thinking now that there is going to be 16 episodes. I don't think we're going to stop at the 14 mark. I feel if it's only 14, we've only got 2 to go, and I think there's still too much to be told.
Or is that just wishful thinking?
Well, I think it's a little. There's a little bit of a contributing factor is the wishful thinking, but I think that there's still too much to tell in 2 episodes. It is only 2, isn't it? Like we're 12.
Wasn't that episode wasn't that episode 13?
Was it? If it was 13, then yeah, there's absolutely no way you can finish a season from here in one more episode.
I mean, unless the next episode is like 3 hours long or something. I
was going to say, unless the last episode is like the first episode and pretty much 3 episodes worth in one, which I guess is a potential happening.
I suppose that they could. I don't know why that they would at this point if they were like, Yeah, we're gonna have like a ton of 20-minute episodes, and then like bookended by super long ones.
Mm.
And S says there's always next season, but supposedly there's not supposed to be another season, right? Or am I
See you,
wrong?
natural. See you, Ryan. Take it easy, mate. Yeah, I'm kind of the opinion that Disney, because of the Bad Batch's success, will want to milk it for at least another season before they kill everyone off. Before Omega turns into Kira. Had to slip that in there. G'day, Daniel Velez.
Yeah,
Velez.
I mean, obviously, like if it's really popular, there's always the option of like another season happening. But I don't know why that they would have said this is the only season and then go back on it though, because normally they just like, yeah, this is a season and then we'll see or whatever. But they were pretty adamant that this was like one season.
Yeah,
But
right.
I don't know. Maybe they just call it. Maybe they just do another season and they just call it something else. And then they're like, yeah, see, there's only one Bad Batch season. This one's now the Book of Omega. or
Book of
something.
Omega. Exactly what I was going to say.
I might like be totally off here because I'm not really up on all of the things, but I thought you guys were saying about Loki that it was definitely only a one season thing. And then I got to the end, and it's like obviously prepped you. They've obviously planned the whole thing all along to have a second season.
No, they
Because
were
of the-
already shooting the second season. They already had all the principals and everybody lined up for the second season.
Okay, because I thought I'd heard you guys saying that there wasn't, but that's
So the
like I
guy, so at the end of Loki, the man at the end of the world, I forget who his character is supposed to be.
Kang the Conqueror.
Kang the
Kang
Conqueror.
So this is Kang the Conqueror, but a different Kang the Conqueror. That guy was already on contract to play Kang the Conqueror, but it was in an unknown facility or whatever, right? Like it was like, oh, he's King the Conqueror in 2022 or whatever. Like they just basically had the year or whatever. Well, it's pretty clear that like he's probably going to be King the Conqueror in Loki season 2, and then see how that character pans out, whether they'll do, have him show up anywhere else or whatever,
Yeah.
because they're definitely in that exploratory mode with all the new, trying to figure out where all the new movies are going and stuff like that for sure.
There's some fucking wild stuff regarding him in the comics, like some shit about one of the Infinity Stones, the Reality Stone, and I think it's Scarlet Witch makes a pocket dimension inside there, which is a merged reality, and
Right.
Wolverine gets merged with Emma Frost, who's the diamond. So he gets diamond claws, and he gets to read the minds of anyone he kills with his diamond claws. Totally redonkulous.
Yeah.
But exciting
That's
stuff.
The liberal, the liberty that the comics have, I guess, is that they can go mental. G'day, Gaffer.
Yeah, they can go totally crazy. But you can see like with the Vision show that they did with WandaVision.
Yeah.
There you go. With WandaVision, that they're like, they're establishing her powers as being able to do a separate reality without the reality stone. Like it's not even necessary for her at this point. In her development or whatever, like they don't need the reality stone, they don't need the Infinity Stones to show up for that kind of stuff to happen. They just need to figure out a storyline for that to be motivated. But it's pretty clear like they'll never get Wolverine back. Hugh Jackman will not do it.
It'll be a reboot.
Hugh Jackman won't do it.
Yeah.
And there's just no real way to like reintroduce Wolverine and have see, here's the problem. The comic book fans, you could put Patrick Stewart out there and say that he's Wolverine now, right? And the comic book fans would go, okay, all right, that's what's happening now. This is crazy, but all right. But that's not who Disney's trying to market these big blockbusters to, right? They're trying to thread the needle of making it work That's what. That's how they screwed up Star Wars Episode 8. Right?
They're not stupid. They're gonna get a pretty buff, decently well like physical actor, probably from NXT, like the wrestling, and or from WWE, like they did with Rock and Dave Bautista and stuff. And they're gonna get a totally fresh face for Wolverine, someone who's young enough to play it for enough years.
No.
And you don't reckon?
Because they already spent the time to introduce X-23. Okay.
Okay.
Wolverine's daughter,
haven't they? They've
like
done
Wolverine's daughter
Wolverine.
will be the character moving forward,
Right.
because like and here's the thing, like them picking people from like wrestling or UFC or anything like that is incredibly stupid and dangerous at this point, right? Because The Rock and John Cena are an aberration, right? Like The Rock and John Cena aren't the normal. Like what you normally end up with is like the lady that played Cara Dune, right? Like she doesn't understand that she's an actor and she's like a part of a really big thing at this point. She's just kind of like, oh, I'll just go crazy on Twitter and be a nut, and that's not a problem. And then if I air quote get canceled, then I'll just go on a tour with Ben Shapiro and make a movie with that guy, you know. And like to act like the people at Disney don't realize that, well, you know, it's pretty clear that you take the Lucasfilms route and you bring in people like Natalie Portman who are like ready to be an actor, right? And have them be in your 3 or 4 movie set, right? And then you don't rely on them that much longer because you don't have them in contract anymore. And the way that it's easy to explain that is like, well, Robert Downey Jr. got brought in, and then when they had him in contract to be able to do the contracted movies, right? Then you have those contracts, they fulfill the contract, and then you have to walk away. You have to figure out how to walk the story away from that. And I think they learned that with Robert Downey Jr. They learned that with Hugh Jackman. They learned that with Patrick Stewart. They learned that with all these people that age out and stuff like that. That you kind of have to shoot these trilogies under a solid contract. And a perfect example of another lesson being learned right now is Scarlett Johansson is suing them for the Black Widow project, or the Black Widow film that just came out, because I think she has a strong claim. Blacky, you're muted. But I see your mouth moving around, and I'm like, I don't think he's talking to behind the scenes anymore. But like the Black Widow is suing for, you know, Scarlett Johansson suing him for like $50 million, and then now a bunch of other people are going to start suing him because they skipped out on the box office payments that they were supposed to make. So, you know, like I think that it's going to be pretty clear that doing something like trying to reintroduce a new Wolverine at this point, when there's like, he's in like 9 movies or something like that, and they try to retcon him, and then like time travel, and like, oh, now he's got bone claws, but oh, now the bone claws are gone, and then oh, well, but this, and then like, is he like 2,000 years old? Yeah, he's like 2,000 years old, but then like, but maybe he's only 50. I don't know, you know. Yeah, and it turns into.
I'm really sorry, but like, as someone who's not into any of this stuff, it seems like that's what all of these movies are. Everything is just you know, they try and do one thing and then they just twist it all around to fit to keep making movies and keep making money. It's not like I've got a really good story, and so let's put this through as a movie that people are going to want to watch. It's just, how can we perpetuate this franchise?
Yeah,
yeah, I feel
the thing is, like,
so anything they can do to perpetuate that franchise, they're probably
will do.
Got in their minds there somewhere that they're willing to do it.
But the stories are already written. Like with comic books and stuff, the material already exists. So there's no real point of them having to like recreate the wheel to hopefully try and resell more Wolverine figurines or whatever, right?
Oh,
Because
come on, like the Romulus story. I don't know if you're familiar with that, where they take Wolverine all the way back to the beginning of Rome, and Romulus starting Rome, and the mutants going back all there. That's a fucking killer story, and you know that's the like the deepest reboot you could think of, putting Wolverine and Sabretooth all the way back in Roman times. You know, that's wild.
Yeah,
G'day,
I mean,
Blake.
there's
I
tons
didn't
of
see
weird
you
stuff in the
sneak in.
comic books, but if you look at like, so looking at like what they're doing, they're moving into this new phase, right, of the Marvel universe, right? They've already had it planned out to go like, we can't keep trying to do the same characters for like 15 years because it doesn't work. You end up losing the actors because you don't have them under contract, and then you try to end up like keeping them around or like rewriting their character or recasting their character or doing all this stuff when you should just be moving down the storyline. And it seems like with like Kevin Feige and these guys that have been brought in, it seems like there's expertise behind it of going like, look, we have to maintain, we got to keep this ship at least going in the direction that it's supposed to continue going on. And obviously they need to try and experiment with some of that stuff. And now they're able to use Disney Plus to do that and go like, oh, was the Falcon and Winter Soldier really that popular? Only they really know whether it was or not. I don't know very many people that were a big fan
it would have been
of that. What's that?
I said I can't imagine that it would have been.
I don't really know anybody that was a big fan of it that was a fan of comic books. I know that it appealed to a lot of random people that didn't know any of the story at all. So, and that's realistically who they need to target. Like, you can't just shoot at 5% of the population when you know you could hit 50% of the population, right? So,
and that's that's
for
potentially the reason why
to try and like recast Wolverine in the 12th movie or whatever the number is. It's insane because every single X-Men movie turned into Wolverine the movie, right? It's like, this is Wolverine the movie part 5. Now we're in Japan, and it's like every single movie completely revolved around that. And then like when the Dark Phoenix stuff and the Dark Phoenix movies came out, they totally flopped because no one cared. Like,
what was Dark Phoenix? I don't even know that.
Yeah. Well, there was like 2 of the Phoenix movies came out, right? There's the Dark Phoenix and
one where Jean Grey goes mental.
Yeah. Because there's 2016, the X-Men Apocalypse. She became Dark Phoenix, and then Dark Phoenix came out in 2019, and then I think there was like
New Mutants. She turns back up again as well.
That's right.
Yeah.
So they started to like weave her in, but then it's like, but nobody really cares all that much because there really wasn't any backstory on that character because every single movie that they made was like dominated by Wolverine, and it's like when Jean Grey turns into the Dark Phoenix, like, okay, who cares, and then you have like,
I don't even know these Dark Phoenix movies. Clearly, I'm not a massive fan.
Well, yeah. But like, so like the X-Men phase. So the Dark Phoenix film only hit the box office at 250 million, which the budget was 200 million, which means that they lost money, right? Because the budget doesn't normally have the advertising budget in it, And so it's one of those things that you can't be doing it like that giant company thing and then like throw in these kind of fringe characters that don't have a big backstory behind them and it be a $200 million movie. and Disney Plus, like these streaming sites, are the place for the $20 million movies that are gone now. Like nobody makes a $20 million movie anymore. Those all just disappeared. It's either guys like the three of us with like $15 and some Super 8 cameras or something, and we make a thing and it wins an award at a film festival, or it's a $200 million movie. You know, that's just nobody's making $45 million movies anymore.
Yeah.
And the streaming services is where those are going to be at. To see, instead of spending $200 million, you can spend 40. You can make The Mandalorian. It's a huge hit, right? You spend 40 million. You find out if the Winter Soldier and Falcon are really entertaining, or is it Loki, right? And it turns out, in my opinion, by far and away, it's the Loki story. So do we see Mobius, and Loki in the next season going on some wacky adventures, talking about the multiverse? Maybe now you can introduce Spider-Man in his 19th incarnation or whatever, because you found out through the kids show on the streaming platform. What is it? The Spider-Verse, right?
Yeah.
Which I think that came out in the box office or whatever, but it turns out like the streaming of it is what's wildly important, right? Mm-hmm. So then are you able to introduce a Spider-Man that can constantly change forever? Like there's an opportunity to bring in a franchise that I think they own now. I think Disney owns Spider-Man, right?
Yeah, they got Fox. Yeah.
So it's like, you know, I don't know. Maybe I'm totally off base and way too overthinking it or whatever. But like, you can't bring back Wolverine. That's the problem. And Rico Stan was saying about the guy from Letterkenny. And yeah, I've seen the meme going around. Like, yeah, he's Canadian. He's pretty fit. A lot of people don't know who he is. He's an actor or whatever. But like, why? Why bring back 30-year-old Wolverine, right? Like, for the comic book people, sure, make a Wolverine movie every 15 minutes. I'd watch him.
I think that's where the Doctor Strange multiverse movie is going to set up in the Phase 3 the whole possibility for rejuvenated Wolverine and a bunch of other characters, because they can just get variants on the characters and just go, yo, they're back. Simple.
Yeah, I've been informed that the new Doctor Strange movie will tie all of these weird things together in a nifty little bundle.
Mm-hmm. It's a great repackaging device.
Yeah. Then I think they knew what they were doing there, big time. Worked for Terminator, didn't it?
Yeah.
Well, time disturbance and travel. You can do anything.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. The thing for me is like, I love Wolverine. I love Wolverine's character. I always have. But like honestly, I don't know. Like bringing him back, like there's just no reason to bring him back at this point. But if you introduce his daughter as a character, along with some other characters that you want to introduce, you probably could get Hugh Jackman to play some flashback parts of old Logan, right? You might be able to get him to do that.
Yeah.
He's sure as hell not going through the roids.
No.
Which admittedly he was doing, right?
Yeah.
He was doing all the roids, all the HGH, all that stuff, lifting every day, 4 times a day, all that stuff. You get into shape like that, and you know, the average person, like, we don't care because all we do is see a magazine cover, right? But it's just like an insane amount of work, and I can't imagine what it's like being a person that is just on that many drugs to just be jacked for a movie, right?
Jacked, man.
And you just be like, do you guys have CGI? Like, what the fuck? You know? Like, don't you guys have computers that can help me just like be insanely ripped? Like, no, this is a method, right? And then you're like, yeah, but this isn't method acting for being Wolverine, because Wolverine never works out. He's never worked out a day in his life as the character of Wolverine, right? So So I mean, I just think that's if you're going to bring back Wolverine, that would be like my whole big diatribe on that. It's just like bring his daughter in. You've already introduced her. You could easily sign the actress to a 3-year deal, lock it in for the 5 or 6 years to produce and film, or whatever the time frame is. You have good continuity, and it's something that you could do. But like I said, I still think like one of the reasons for doing the Bad Batch is being able to bring in some of these characters to fill out stuff like the Mandalorian. And I think if I was involved in the production of the X-Men franchise, like that's how I would be going about trying to develop with these other shows to like introduce characters and then gauge like how much the average person responds to them, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
G'day, Scotty. Alien World Aquatics is here.
Nice.
Yeah, I kind of agree that there's been, like, I probably haven't seen them all, but there's certainly been enough Wolverine movies. But yeah, that's like the thing, isn't it? They like to milk a solid cash cow, so it's potentially going to happen. Where did Wolverine's daughter first show up?
In the Logan movie.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, when he had Patrick Stewart in a shed out in the desert or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was essentially that was the retirement movie for Wolverine's character.
Yeah, right.
And Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's stuff like that to me is that like you're not going to get Hugh Jackman to come back as young Wolverine. It's just not going to happen, right? And the average people think it's not going to happen. Like, I'm sorry, man. If Ryan Reynolds can't get him to come play Wolverine in Deadpool, like it's not going to happen, right? I mean, when you literally have like somebody as charming as Ryan Reynolds trying to charm the guy into just come play Wolverine, like, don't worry about it. All that stuff that he's been doing, like, it's just not going to happen. He's not going to play the role. I mean, I think a lot of people have misinterpretations of who Hugh Jackman is, but Hugh Jackman's he's a stage actor. Like, he wants to sing and dance. Like, that's what he likes to do. He doesn't like to stab people with his fake claws. Like, that's not how he likes acting,
But in the modern world, they don't seem to have a great problem with substituting one actor for another. The character of Wolverine has got an aesthetic, and I think that it does not require Hugh Jackman for them to continue that character. They don't actually need him, okay? And younger, audiences, people are prepared to accept a new actor in a character role. I mean, for me personally, I really don't like it, and I don't. I find it really hard when they change characters, but they do change people's characters. They change the actor for another actor. And, there were other people who have played Wolverine, in the past, and not just Hugh Jackman. And in the future, there'll probably be other people who play Wolverine.
Who else has played Wolverine?
Oh, I don't know, but there was.
No, there wasn't. But the's been voice actors that were different.
There hasn't been another actor that's played Wolverine.
Yeah, no physical
What's
actors.
the one? But what's the really old one where he was in? Because I'm sure that wasn't Hugh Jackman, was it?
It is
I don't
Hugh
know.
Jackman.
The issue for me is that I don't actually
Hugh
watch any
Jackman.
of these, and that's why I usually.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm saying that like there are some characters like you can redo them, like what they did with Star Trek, right? Is that like, oh, it's an alternate universe, and this is the new Spock, and this is the new Kirk, and this is the new whatever, and it went over like fairly well because it's a whole different universe. Like, okay, and I think that that's something that you could do. It's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna go over that well with the average viewer, right? And I think that it's just with a character like Wolverine, like everybody knows it's Hugh Jackman, and just they literally just be out there going like, it's not Hugh Jackman. And it didn't really work with Spider-Man because there's so many different actors that have played Spider-Man at this point. Because I think they're on their third one, and then So more to my point is that like somebody like Kevin Feige is smart enough to know that like you can't continue to invest the story in the only this one character. And that was like the big downfall for X-Men as a financial standpoint, or from a financial standpoint, because when it came time to like, hey, they're supposed to be making more movies, they end up doing something like making the Dark Phoenix that lost a ton of money. And you know, like from my personal standpoint, like I don't care if these companies lose a lot of money, but the reality is I've watched so many comic book companies try to make a movie, right? And okay, here's a good one. Spawn, right?
Terrible.
Here we are basically like 30 years later or 25 years later, hoping that somehow Kevin McFarlane can get his shit together and hopefully make a new Spawn that isn't literally one of the worst movies you've ever seen in your entire life, right? From a comic book character that made that guy $100 million or something crazy.
Where did you get Kevin from? Who's Kevin McFarlane?
Or Todd McFarlane, sorry.
Yeah, but now
sorry.
now I'm intrigued about who this Kevin McFarlane
Kevin
fella is.
Feige.
Sorry, probably Kevin Feige and
Feige,
Todd McFarlane are mixed up while I'm trying to talk. Sorry.
That's
Merged
no
in the
fun.
multiverse.
It's multiverse, yeah.
But the Spawn original movie, it was a bit of a flop. It was pretty fucking terrible. But the one thing that came good from it was the soundtrack. That was fucking brilliant.
Fantastic soundtrack.
Yeah,
And,
so
and
good.
Who
That
can
is a good
resist
soundtrack,
John?
isn't it?
Yeah, who can resist John Leguizamo doing evil, silly characters? He's fantastic.
Look, I like John Leguizamo in it. I like the Spawn movie because I like the comic book. I read all the comic books, right? I'm not the fan that they're trying to sell tickets to.
Yeah.
That's the point that I'm trying to make here, is that like it doesn't matter what super nerds like me sit down and watch on a Thursday night, right? Like you gotta capture enough of an audience to like continue the business, right? Like I'm in a business where if I take a couple months to work on a project, most people that watch my YouTube channel are like, oh, cool. You're just one dude. That's all good. And we show up for your live streams and we'll all hang out and we'll talk while you're working on that project, right? I don't give a rat's ass about a single person that works at Disney, you know? Like I don't have even remotely any kind of personal relationship with those guys. And if they're not making like awesome content, like, okay, I'll just go watch some awesome content somewhere else. And that's like, you know, and they're like, meanwhile, they're like $2 billion in, right?
Yeah.
You know, and at some point in time, they're going to make a decision of like, oh, we're not going to make anything anymore. And I've watched so many companies go under over the years that were making awesome stuff and they took a shot trying to make their thing and then they end up getting bought by Disney. So like my advocacy at this point is as a fan, but also so that they can keep making good stuff like realistically, you know, and have an appeal to a big audience so that they can continue to make comic book movies, you know? Like I want them to keep doing it.
But can I interrupt here for a second? I watched the best fucking horror movie I've ever seen in my life the other night. It was really good, by a company called Boom Comics called The Empty Man, and it was just fucking mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Such a good concept and so well executed. And
The Empty Man.
Yeah, The Empty Man. And some of the scenes in it are just like, fucking hell.
Where do you find this film?
I got it for free on Foxtel, so might have to go to Brunswick Head's video shop and ask for it there, because we still have a DVD shop.
Do you think they'll have it on Binge?
They might. You could check it out. Yeah. Have a search. Very cool.
Right.
Very, very cool concepts. It's more concept driven than, you know, gory action, but it's still
Right.
very cool.
Well,
And have you?
I
Sorry.
haven't seen it, so I'm not saying yay or nay. I'll definitely check it out when I get a chance. Send me the
Yeah.
link. Send me the link tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure. I'll get the
or
IMDb
tonight.
link.
I don't know.
Yeah,
And I
the other
can see
thing,
if I can find it in the States, but
yeah, you
like
should be
more
able
to
to.
more to that kind of point is that like those guys that have gotten some funding, like a little bit of funding to make like a little project like that, right?
Mm,
Like they have a lot on the line. You know what I mean?
mm,
Like they do. I'm
mm.
sure that I'm sure whoever made it definitely had a lot on the line personally, right?
Yeah, it wasn't heavy on effects. It was more the story-driven psychological
Yeah,
horror
like a
of
lot
the
of
concept.
principle made stuff and things like that.
Yeah, really well
Yeah.
done.
And
Like,
so like there definitely is probably like a serious financial consideration for like a couple of individuals, right?
yeah,
But
The Empty
you
Man
gotta
is
bring
coming
that
to
into
Disney.
context. You have to bring that into a little bit of context where you go like, oh, if those guys sell, I don't know, 100,000 copies of it, or I don't know, whatever the number is, that's basically nothing, right?
mm,
Huge success for those dudes, right?
mm.
But
Did you find it, Mike?
Yeah, it says Empty Man is coming to Disney Plus 25th of August.
nice.
All the Prime Video, it's a rental, Google Play, Apple TV, all rentals. So yeah, we'll have to sit tight until the 25th of this
Awesome.
month.
Nice.
And we can watch it for freezies, hopefully.
That's the way.
Unless it's going to premium Disney.
if it's included in the streaming.
Yeah.
Mm.
And what was
Yeah,
the other
so-
one? We got Mortal Kombat last night. That was fucking rad.
Yeah, I've heard that's a quite a fun film.
Oh, so good. So much fun. And the Australian character portrayed right in Kano, he's just fucking hilarious. Suck on my sack. He pulls out
Written
some
and
great lines.
written and directed by David Pryor.
And it's got Stephen Root in it. Can't be too bad if it's got him in it. It's most stupid.
Okay, so the initial release was in Mexico, October 22, 2020. Okay.
Going back to Spawn as well. The
So
the
yeah,
only thing,
so like with this Empty Man, right? So it says originally filmed in August of 2017, the film received poor scores at test screenings, and distributor 20th Century Studios lost faith in its commercial prospects. The final product, theatrically released in the United States on October 23rd, 2020, was still considered a rough edit by Pryor. The film received mostly negative reviews from critics and audiences at the time of its release, although reception improved after it came out on home media and has since gained a cult following, right?
Mm.
So, like, my initial reaction here is that, like, I want to see this, and it sounds like it's gotten a following, right? And it probably got bought by Disney Plus or something like that, and probably made these guys whole. But they made it, they filmed it in 2017, didn't release it until October 23rd, 2020, right? So that's over a 3-year period to film it, edit it, and get it released. Now it's basically been a year since then that it got bought, and now it's probably going to go on Disney Plus. So it grossed $3 million in the United States and Canada, and $1.2 million in other territories. Excuse me. So the weird thing is that, like, with a film like this, these guys probably put a lot on the line, right? But it's like individually a lot on the line, and it probably like temporarily bankrupt these guys, but they made a thing, and it's going to be way easier to turn around the production company that made this, right? Like, they probably had a cast and crew of like maybe 100 people or something like that, maybe all together to make this. I don't know. I'd have to keep looking because the cast is 16, 19 people deep, right? So probably like 100 people or something worked on this total. would be my guess. I don't know, but I haven't been able to find the budget yet to see what it is. But it was filmed in South Africa, so you had to shoot on location, blah, blah, blah. You know, and the thing is, like, to make something whole off of a smaller production like this is not that big of a deal. But if you put $200 million into a production, then they spend $150 million promoting something, and something goes out and it makes $350 million, you still lost money and you worked for years to make a thing, right? And for a company like Disney, they just go, okay, cut bait, bye-bye. And they just cut the fish off the line. They just cut the line and let the fish go. They put in too much effort and stuff like that, right? You're not going to get a big enough tuna out of it. Mm-hmm. And I don't want the characters that I like and have grown up with to get resolved by a financial guy just saying it's a line item. Like, nope, sorry, we don't do that anymore. And it seems to me like somebody like Kevin Feige coming in to go like, look, here's how we can try and do this. You bring Jon Favreau back from it, when you remember when he quit because he didn't want to do Iron Man and all that. You bring Jon Favreau back and get him excited to come back and work, and you start to get other directors from Jon Favreau to get them excited to come back to work, right? And to work for Disney, even though they got a pretty bad rap from all the other stuff that they've been doing. But turning around $100 million loss is insanely difficult to do versus going, oh, we could bring up something like The Empty Man and see if we can't make some money off of it. You know, that's how you end up with these crappy movies like the Tomorrow War with Chris Pratt, is that they sunk so much money into that production. You end up with this terrible movie on Amazon. And I know Jeffrey Bezos spent his money on it, but it's just a disaster.
I loved it.
I'm still yet to watch it.
I thought it was awesome.
I don't understand how you could like that movie. I mean,
it's so good.
What, are you on mushrooms the whole time? Did you just like
no?
Would you drink like 90 beers, pass out, and then wake up at the end and be like, I really like that. That was good. That was a good nap.
The cheese factor was awesome. I like a bit of stinky cheese. So
yeah, I like Hollywood cheese. Maybe I will have to watch it now. I've heard a review on the other side of the fence.
Yeah, it's full of cheese.
What movie? I kept asking what movie, and then I realized that I was on mute.
Yeah.
I'm like, what movie? What movie? And they're not listening to me.
It's the Tomorrow War with Chris Pratt.
Okay.
Vicky liked it because stuff blew up.
Yeah.
You know,
is that your daughter?
But you know, the problem is like there's so many points in that movie where it contradicts itself.
Yeah, of course.
It's like you could have just edited this properly, but like, a good point would be like the Suicide Squad. Okay, we're back. Like the Suicide Squad is out now instead of Suicide Squad from 4 years ago. Like they're back again, trying to do that movie again. But the original movie was so god awfully bad. And they're so deep in this like giant production and whatnot, that the Suicide Squad came out, and then you go like, oh, they're probably not going to ever make that again.
But they did. Have you seen the digital short introduction for the video game that's Suicide Squad versus the Justice League?
No.
It's fucking off its head. It's so amazing what the story can be driven when it's just graphics straight from the start without actual actors and they're just doing motion capture. It's so much better. It's fucking hilariously better. And Superman's the bad guy and the Suicide Squad are the good guys. It's just rad. Oh, we've lost Mike.
I mean, I don't know. Like, to do these like stupid mashups that DC does where it's like, oh, Batman's gonna punch Superman. You're like,
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Why would he do? Why would that happen? Like, and why would it matter? Like,
Yeah.
oh, now Batman's got guns. Batman's got guns, and he's gonna just start shooting people. Like, oh,
He hates
okay,
guns. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I mean that is literally the thing he hates the most is guns. And you make a
Yeah.
movie, or make a bunch of movies, make all these movies with Batman just shooting people, just gunning people down. Like his whole entire life's trauma revolves around the fact that he hates guns
Mm.
and wants to clean the streets physically with his body of every single criminal ever so that guns will no longer kill people's parents. I mean, that's his whole
The covers.
crazy motivation in life, but now he's just got machine guns and decides to just shoot at Superman. Yeah,
America.
America.
Fuck yeah.
Hey,
Come
Batman's not American, okay? I hope you know that.
Really?
Do you think Metropolis is in America?
I thought so. Is it in Canada?
There is no Metropolis in America.
Yeah,
It's not,
okay. It's an alternate. Yeah.
it's an alternate universe, man.
It's a pretendy realm.
It's a pretend realm where the Joker is just extraordinarily overpowered.
Yeah.
Two-Face falls in a vat of stuff and somehow gets
Only burns his
transformed
face.
directly down the center. Well, I always wondered about Two-Face. Like, why is he just straight? Why is it straight down the center? I've never fallen in anything and gone like right flat sideways like that. It's never happened to me ever. Out of all the multitude of times I've fallen off and into things, I never fell in.
It's just because of Duracell.
I want to see him in his underpants so we know whether it goes all the way down his body too.
I think there's some
in his
shots.
underpants or without his underpants?
Oh,
Well, either or.
for
At least,
curiosity's sake, yeah, why not?
let's just
Yeah.
say
I think
with
there's,
a lot less clothing than we normally see him in.
I think there's shots. I think there's shots of his clothes like being burned.
Yeah, one
where
half
you
of his
see
clothes
like
is-
his leg or his arm or something. His arm, yeah, because his hand's all screwed up. His one coin flipping hand is all gross, right? So I would presume it goes like directly halfway down his bunshole and penis and chode area, right?
Yeah, well,
But that does make for some kind of intriguing imagery, doesn't it?
yeah. Now I do want to see him without his underpants because I want to see if that penis is half good and half bad.
You want to see some Duracell hentai?
Yeah,
Well, you can
why
watch
not?
Deadpool for that. I guess the new one coming out is
Really?
supposed to be like super gruesome.
Ooh, nasty.
We likes a bit of that.
Yeah.
I wish they'd make a movie about the Tomorrow People. I don't know. I can't remember what the Tomorrow People is.
Is it a reference to the Tomorrow War? The people that come from there.
I think it's a book series.
Yeah, right. Maybe Gaffer will have to elucidate on that. G'day, Riley. Fish keeping Jamaica. How are you, man?
Jamaica.
Oh, I think
it's
the Tomorrow People was on the CW, right?
What's the CW?
American TV series. There's only one season. 'Cause I remember. So I'm looking at like the I don't know. I guess what would you call it? Like the poster here, and I recognize the actors of having been in a thing that I may or may not have like fallen asleep a bunch of times attempting to watch. Yeah, I don't know. He's a guy's teleporting guy. I don't know. Okay.
Wild.
Well, one of the things that I really want him to make, which is the Wheel of Time series, they're actually making it. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, Amazon is producing like I don't know. I think it's supposed to be like many seasons long.
I did.
It would want to be.
Like almost every actor in it is like who is that? I don't know who that is. like who is that? There's like one pseudo famous person, that Rosamund Pike, which I think you would like recognize her face, but yeah, I don't know.
I certainly
think they have
saw
a lot of
Scungy's
people, like,
face pick
wrapped
up
up.
when you mentioned that.
What's that?
I certainly saw Scungy's face come to attention when you mentioned whatever that series was you just mentioned.
Wheel of Time.
Wheel of Time, yeah.
Hmm.
So have you read the book?
Because I thought that would be interesting. Well, yeah, but because there was the whole thing about that, I didn't read them all because I kind of feel weird about the different author stuff.
What author stuff? What?
At the end, the last, because the last ones they got them finished and not by him.
Yeah, because he died.
Well, they didn't.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
didn't. Well, they didn't like they get them finished. Like Robert Jordan had Brandon Sanderson come in to write the books with him to finish them because he knew he was dying. And they did all the outline work and all that stuff. It wasn't so much that like Brandon just came in and was like, "Hey,
I'll just
here
finish.
I am, guys. I'm going to write the end." Woo! No,
It's still not the same. I don't know. I mean, and I guess as a reader, and I don't know. I get really fussy, so I couldn't bring myself to read them in case I'd get too judgy about them.
Well, I mean, they're written in Robert Jordan's. I mean, they're good.
Yeah, but I've read things that are written in the style of an author. But the thing is that the author themselves, in those moments, makes little choices and does things. I don't know. That's just my personal reasoning and what I think and feel and what's made me, what I've based my decisions on. Because I am quite picky on little things.
Really? No.
I just have a certain, taste. And if something isn't like actually getting me or it's got enough little things that are distracting me from it, then I'm not enjoying it. So I'll leave it and do something else that tickles me.
Right.
I want to be in that thing really fully, and I don't want to get distracted by things or
G'day, Kenny. Oh, doesn't all gin smell like metho, GRB?
No.
I always think gin smells like metho, kinda.
So the whole end of the
juniper.
book, the whole end of the book series and everything. I think Brandon did the last. I think he did the last 2 books, but I think he spent something like, I don't know, 6 months or it's a long period of time. I can't remember. I'm trying to figure out how long it was, but he spent a long period of time. Robert Jordan outlined everything, all the things that were going to happen. So it's not like what happened with Game of Thrones, the TV show. So it definitely ends and it makes sense. And there's like some slight differences in style and stuff like that, but also by that point in time in the book series, like everybody's pretty crazy, so it could easily be dealing with the fact that it's sort of like the end of times, like madness going on. So
things are going to get a little bit.
But yeah,
different.
I would recommend, like, if you read all the books, I would recommend to finish them off. I wouldn't be reticent.
It was, but I mean, it's a long time. I think I was reading those like many years ago. But
Better start again.
Yeah, that's it. Start from the beginning again and see.
G'day, Anthony.
That's
Geek Boy says that Sanderson did the last 3. I guess it was the last 3, but but one of the things is, like, if you go from book 1 and then jump to the last one that Robert Jordan was writing, like, he didn't even write in the same style. It had been so long, I mean, it'd been 25 years or something crazy. I don't know when he even started.
Yeah.
And what's the series called? Wheel of Time.
The first book in the Wheel of Time came out in 1990. Was first published in 1990, so he probably wrote it in 88, and then he died in 2007, and it wasn't even done. So 27-year period he was writing those. So the first book to the last book is like 27-year gap. They're not the same. They're not written the same. Like if you jump from book to book, you start to realize like it's been many years in between like his writing style and the amount of time he was working on stuff and everything like that.
And it's interesting though, because once you start talking about it and I think about it, I can really see, like, I get something from the idea of it being an art that someone has created and someone writing the books, and then just even the idea that these books aren't written, like, you know, even if all the concepts and everything aren't written by the same person, it almost, I don't know, it's like someone finished someone else's painting, or I don't know, it just has some effect on me that creates a prejudice in me as I approach the thing.
Do you have the same view when you look at a comic book?
Well, I'm not really like that into comic book.
Well, it's not a matter of like.
So that's not something that I can really say.
I'm not asking if you're into comic books, but I'm asking, like, do you have the same viewpoint when you see a graphic novel, for instance? You're like, well,
like when someone else. Well, no, like I like things that are collaborative, but yeah, sometimes graphic novels can be. Yeah, I can find them hard to enjoy sometimes.
Okay.
Because of that, like, it's just, and it's the same with movies, you know, when they make a movie from a really good book or something like that, where I like have some attachment to the original thing, and then then there's someone else's, like, oh, this is my creative take on that. Maybe it will be great, or maybe it like won't be. But there's something about it, and I totally acknowledge it's just like a strange thing in me, in my way that I enjoy things, or because what I'm looking for in stuff is not necessarily what the mass of people are looking for in things. I get strange little joys from strange things about it that are maybe not, you know, what other people are trying to take from things. But
so if an author has an editor, do you have the same take from that?
Well, I definitely think that the editor's role can be overplayed, and I would like to read more things that were how somebody saw it themselves, without somebody else saying, nope, you've got to do this and this to fit it to a certain mold. I like things really freaking raw, and I like them with mistakes and weird quirks that speak to the person who made them, rather than them being kind of softened and smoothed out for easy consumption. I like stuff that's like, you know, that's left raw and a bit, you know.
Speaking of softened out and easy for consumption, can we get Z-Beam's YouTube link up again? He's getting so close to double figures of subscribers. We should at least get him there during.
Is he getting close to 10?
Yeah.
He jumped from 6 to 8 earlier in the stream.
Oh my God!
Wow.
I mean, it would be stupendous if we could get him like well into double figures.
That's something I can do though, can't I? I have a YouTube. I just have to go and see if I can find it. I can be a number on YouTube.
Oh my God, he's at 8. He's at 8 subscribers. Oh my God.
Come on, we can do this, people. We can get him to 11 at least.
Oh, I got S. Thank you, S.
You have videos with no views on them. 0 views.
Yeah. It happens.
Hey, you sent me this video with you and the koalas, but you sent it private. You didn't upload it to YouTube. I would have watched it.
I hadn't done it at that time, yeah.
Yeah. I would have watched this video because I had already watched this video.
Yeah. The koala sighting was pretty rad. The male was calling last night again. It was awesome.
I was only joking.
You've got 11 subscribers,
I
But
was only joking about 11. Let's not stop there. Let's get him further than 11.
Oh my God,
well,
you're at 10
there was
now.
11, and now I have added myself to that list.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
I'm dropping
dropping
emojis. I'm dropping emojis. I'm gonna get in trouble for spamming your channel,
No, it's fine. Go for it.
but it doesn't have anything to do with you. I'm gonna get banned by YouTube for
Oh,
spamming
right.
emojis.
Okay.
And just remember, everyone, that the more subscribers Z-Beam gets, the more likely he is to upload quality content.
Yeah. Check out the koalas. It's pretty rad.
Oh my God,
He's
he's up
up-
to 12. He's up to 12. He's off the charts.
There's like a male koala, a female koala who dumped a baby at the bottom of the tree, and it freaked out. And then she came down the tree when I busted up the fight, and Mama took the baby back. It's very cute.
Yeah, I was trying
right
to figure
in
out
your
what's
own
going on with
backyard.
those frisky koalas in your backyard. I was trying to figure out what's going on there.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh my
everyone
God.
has this impression
I
that they're
spent so much
cute
money
and
to go to
cuddly.
Peru because I just didn't have all the gear to go. This is just like driving me nuts. I'm gonna close all these windows because I don't want to know about it. What if I go to Peru and I film something? What would you guys be interested in seeing? Because none of you guys aren't gonna get any fish stuff because that's all gonna go to Aquarium Co-op.
I want to say, I liked your idea of your man on the street stuff before, wandering around the street asking people the impacts of COVID and all that stuff. It's because I'm super intrigued by that from other points of view around the world.
Yeah, try to get some people profile. That was kind of my thing. That was kind of what I've been leaning into of like, if I'm gonna document stuff, I think that's would be the best thing for me to try and document is just random people that don't have anything to do with like fish stuff and see if I can't get some interviews and stuff. Like
Are you going up into the highlands?
We're going up. We're going out into the depth of the river.
Because I know you're sober, but there's like a traditional thing to get the coca leaf and the limestone and have a munch to help with your blood oxygenation levels.
It's true.
But you won't do that.
Probably not. No.
Okay.
No.
Maybe someone in your crew could participate in that quest to find some and have a go. It's pretty decent.
Well, I don't know. That's not really something that like would be advocated through the Aquarium Co-op channel. So like, doesn't seem like something that I would go out of my way to do at this point.
Yeah, no worries.
I mean, I would say that like if you went to Peru and you wanted to document that, it would probably be hilarious. I mean,
yeah,
I'd have a good time watching that video. If you're gonna go down there and like, if you're gonna go down there and do some ayahuasca and find yourself in the deep dark depths of your own mind or whatever, but
I can get that here too. I've got.
I've already gone on vision quests and stuff like that. I have a pretty firm like knowledge of like who I am in the deep dark areas of my recesses. So
yeah.
I don't think it's something that like I would realistically have to explore at this point. I mean, I could probably start making some videos about that, like just start making some trippy videos about weird thoughts and weirdness, like buttworm people.
Go on.
Like that.
Yeah, I like that idea too, Geek Boy, that Geek Boy raising the buttworms again, that potentially, let's get some close-ups of the life of a person infested with buttworms. Let's see what's going on down there.
I imagine that I will probably try to steer clear of that as much as possible because I'm not sure
Where's your sense of adventure?
Well, I'm not sure what the preventative measures are. Like, is wearing a COVID mask going to help, or is it
butt plug,
or is it going to do the opposite? I'm not sure. Or is
you need
it
a butt plug, Corvus? Go on.
Well, that's the thing. Is like as far as I know, it's like it's not I mean, it's like gastrointestinal, right? So I think it
Okay.
generally probably has something to do with like
Unwashed veggies.
like
Take it in through the
unwashed
mouth, but-
foods or like improper cooking temperatures or any of that kind of stuff, which I'm pretty knowledgeable about that crap, about like, you know.
Oh, video getting into a roasted guinea pig. I think that's pretty big in Peru.
Oh
Ooh.
yeah.
Yeah, catch and cook, catch a guinea pig and roast it.
Or they farm them. You don't want a wild one.
You might get worms.
I could catch it at the farm.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, you know, I catch it while I'm
Yeah.
at a farm. You know, they're
Yeah.
just in there, and you just catch them.
Supposedly they're really tasty, really
them.
good.
I would watch that video.
You know,
Yeah.
the thing is that like pretty much most things that are like slow roasted are generally pretty tasty.
Yeah.
We're kind of evolved for that. You know, the high protein intake. You know, that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I think the weird thing is that like I guess one of the more common things that we're going to be eating via the chefs like on the boat, because we're taking a boat that goes up river, and it's like a big boat. It's like an expedition boat that's normally like a teaching boat, you know. And so they have like a galley, and then of course they have like some young guy who's the chef, you know, who's just cooking on the boat. I guess one of the main things on the boat is pleco soup.
Nice.
So there'll probably be some video about like what the F is pleco soup, you know. There'll probably be some of that.
Yeah.
I was thinking about kind of focusing on some of the cuisine stuff myself because I'm
For sure.
because I'm so like versed in that it might be a good spot for me to kind of settle into like what I'm trying to document while I'm there, you know.
Oh, for
I think
sure.
I was thinking that and the human element. I think were
Mhm.
probably like kind of the things I was thinking about, but
Yeah,
I don't know
'cause
how
that-
well I'm going to be able to do the human element thing because if it's all in Spanish, it's going to be incredibly difficult to, I don't know, make something that really appeals to American audience, you know, or even Australians for that matter, you know.
Get out there and if you got a chance to go to some markets, find some nice textiles like a poncho or something. Some rad weaving.
Like a woolen poncho.
Yeah, keep you warm when it's cold.
I have a poncho that's made out of space age materials, so
Oh, sweet. You
It's
take that with you.
impossible to be unhappy in a poncho, isn't that right?
I have had some very unhappy experiences in a poncho. So as much as the adage goes, I think it's definitely possible to have a bad time.
Well, guys, my phone is down to 10%. I better leave and get on charge. So great to
You
talk
better-
to you guys again.
You better
It's
get
been
out
fun.
of here. I'm going to charge your
Yeah.
phone.
Yeah.
Charge it.
Thanks for having me again. I might get back if you guys are still going in like 40 minutes or so, but otherwise, great times. Talk to you soon.
Get you
Good to
on
see
the
you again,
flippy.
Jake.
Catch you
Safe
in a
travels.
couple weeks.
Yep, sure.
Bye.
See you, man. Bye.
Why now? So when did you say you are leaving for Peru? Only in a few days.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, right? And going for 8 days or
20,
something.
28 hours from now, I think. Something like that.
Interesting.
Is
And
it-
what did you say? Gone for 8 days, 7 days, a week?
13 days.
Oh, right.
13
Well,
days, and then I come back to film some. Then I come back to go film some stuff for my YouTube channel. So I'm going to be gone for quite a while. It's going to be like 3 weeks. I'm going to be gone. So
I assume you'll have adequate enough roaming internet data on your telephone that next week when we go live, we can bring you and Kobe and Dean onto the show next week.
I am not sure because I have an international hotspot. So it might be worth a try.
I
to see
was,
if I can
I was
do it.
actually being silly, but you're considering the possibility of it.
It might be
Why
worth
not?
a try. I won't know until I'm like out there, you know,
Yeah.
and see how well it works. So, like I have like 15 gigs of international data right now, which I should be able to use worldwide. And Peru is one of the listed countries that's supposed to be covered throughout the whole via some kind of wacky satellite connection, or who knows? I don't know. Maybe they put 5G chips in all of the natives. Who knows?
Well, it'd be finally nice to put a face to this Corey person's name that you keep talking about. And, you know, it'd be interesting to see what this guy's all about.
From the co-op,
this bizarre human that I've never heard of until you spoke of him.
yeah. Oh yeah, he's a mystery man. That's for sure. Nobody knows who he is.
I mean, I'm sure he knows all about me and who I am and stuff, but it'd be really nice just to get to know the guy and find out a little bit about what makes the man work.
What makes him tick on the insides?
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Anthony, going. Good night, Anthony. Thanks for swinging by, mate. That was a rather massive digression from starting to speak about the Bad Batch, wasn't it? And then we went into Marvel stuff and then more Peru stuff.
It's true.
It's almost like we're following my description of today's stream.
What does it say?
Oh, I can't remember what I wrote, but I wrote something about how we just wander around multiple subjects, and so I don't remember the exact words that I used.
How we do.
Maybe I'll have to go back to my channel on the YouTubes. Oh, look out, I've got 716 subscribers apparently. I've picked up a couple.
Oh my God. Who are these noobs?
Yeah, enjoy the tangential discussion style we present. So we certainly we've held firm to that description just now. Well, tangential, you know, implying more than one tangent, I suppose.
100%.
Because we went.
I know that it makes some people like they get ants in their pants, but they never leave a comment on the video, so I never really know like what it is that they're so pissy about. You know?
Yeah, it was actually I'm in a chat group with a bunch of the Australian fish tubers, and we were having that discussion the other day about how you know there's this certain crew out there that seems to just go out and put dislikes on videos, and it's sure, dislike it, but you know, leave a comment and tell us why you disliked it. Don't just be a dick and put a thumbs down just because you think you're being powerful and stuff.
Right. Like, let me know what sucks. And you know what? If you are that terrible, maybe I'll just ban you. But also at the same time, I'd still like to know.
Yeah. It was like, oh, did you not like when I picked my nose or farted or scratched my ear a particular way?
Which thing was it? It's good to know. Yeah,
I'm imagining that it's too confronting for people to assess their own neuroses.
Or maybe people just don't really care that much, and they're just like, oh yeah, nah, shit, meh, and move on. And they don't have the time of day to sit there and write to you about everything you did to give you some sense of validation of why their thumbs down, you know, that they felt like this instead of like this. Maybe they just don't care.
So essentially, I think what Scunch Princess is saying is that it's her who's doing the thumbs down.
It is. It's her. Oh my God. Well, we figured out the mystery. We'll just have to go straight to the source.
Pipex.
We'll just have to go straight to the source from here on out, I think. Find out why Scungy hit the dislike, and then we'll know.
You know, well, if you want, you can show me things and I will give you a critical analysis.
No, I don't want to hear your critical analysis. You're going to cut me apart and make me feel bad.
And brutal.
And I'm going to cry, and I don't feel like crying today. If I did, I would have listened to some sad albums or something and cried.
Yeah, you're going to do all your crying tomorrow on the plane.
That's true. I'm probably have a a breakdown. You know.
Bit of a mid-morning meltdown.
Yeah. I'm gonna have some boohoos and some wham-whams. I don't know, man. It's gonna be a long time on the airplane, so
What is?
I always think like, wow, I'm gonna be on the airplane for a long time. Maybe I'll film something on the airplane. I never film anything on the airplane.
It turns out that what you film on the airplane is not really very interesting.
Yeah, we
Oh,
discovered
so
that. Going
It's
forward.
just kind of like on an airplane.
I'm on an airplane. It's hot in here. It
Yeah.
smells. That guy farted.
Kids screaming in the background,
Yeah,
you
there's
know.
kids crying, and fucking the waitress is all pissed at you because you're talking on a camera or something. I don't know. You can't talk to a camera during takeoff. That's illegal. Get the TSA on you. I don't know.
Turn this plane around. Hello,
We
Dreamweaver
gotta go
Aquatics.
back. We got to go back now because you were filming in the bathroom. Your butt worms.
You bloody terrorist.
Hey, if I have butt worms, I'm gonna film it in the airplane bathroom. That's what I'm gonna do.
Heck yes.
Now that sounds like an interesting video.
Yeah, I want an advanced screening of that video, please.
Give Casey Neistat a run for his money.
Who's he? Why do I know that name, but I don't know who it is?
The famous YouTuber. Lifestyle vlogging, Casey Neistat.
Yeah, butt worms or something, did he? Or did he just show his date on TV?
No, he's always filming on airplanes all the time.
Ah, right. I gotcha.
Lifestyle vlogger, Casey Neistat.
Now those two words just sound terrible together. Lifestyle blogger.
Well, he's one of the guys that started doing it like many, many years ago.
Yeah, right.
And then that name got attributed to it, you know, because of his popularity. It's like, what does he do? You know.
And then
the first guy
Is it just the words or the you know connotations that they have? Because whether other people followed along doesn't necessarily make it more palatable.
I mean, his content is good, but it's really like it's Seinfeld-esque about how it's like really about nothing, you know.
just people coming along for the occurrence.
It's just him doing stuff. It's just him like doing his day-to-day stuff. And you know, he was like a very interesting guy, and he would be cruising around New York on his skateboard all the time. And you know, it's before he was the pioneer of the people that were doing that. He's the pioneer of the guy who was holding the camera out in front of himself and like talking like that. That's him.
So we can blame him, can we?
I guess
for all these
I don't
other
know.
idiots that get around doing that, maybe.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess you could blame the people that watch him too.
Probably.
Who would have imagined 30 years ago that influencer could be a career?
Well, basically anybody in advertising, anybody in marketing,
Oh, fine. Shoot my idea down. Goodness.
MTV, anybody that worked at MTV.
Yeah, I suppose. I recant that suggestion then. People have been thinking about being influencers for years.
You could blame Casey Neistat for everybody having a drone. He popularized drones and electric skateboards, and vlogging. Yeah, probably those three things would be the things that he.
Someone had to do it, I guess.
Yeah.
The drones brings me to another interesting point that I've been thinking about a lot lately, watching Formula One racing. And Formula One has this big thing about their carbon footprint, and that they're trying to reduce their carbon footprint as much as possible. But
They're legit like doing the thing that would, the only thing that you could possibly do to increase your carbon footprint.
well, they're at nearly every single race, they have a helicopter flying around to get all of this aerial footage.
Right.
surely that helicopter fuel has a rather large carbon footprint when they could be using talented drone pilots instead.
Could be a
Using
drone, though,
battery
isn't it?
power. Oh no, there's you see the helicopters flying around on certain ones, and
Oh, okay.
it's only very occasionally, like you have your what do you call it, spider cam, the
Mhm.
ones suspended on wires. But it's like,
Right.
just put a bloody drone in the sky. It's going to just be some electricity instead of all these fossil fuels being burned. And big changes coming next year with the Formula One. The new cars have been released, and there's still hybrid cars, electric and ICE.
Right. Everything now is hybrid, right? In Formula One.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get that immediate power to the ground.
Which is very good. It adds an extra facet to the racing, that they've got to be concerned about battery power and stuff as well. And
Right.
and it's creating new technologies, like the technologies where they feed the energy created. I think it's kinetic energy that's created by the braking. Feeds fresh electricity back into the batteries, and that's a technology that's then going to be able to transition into the general populace of automobiles.
Yeah, there was like one of the new super Teslas, whatever it is, the super expensive one. Just like right out the box, basically from the dealership, it does like a quarter mile in like 1.9 seconds or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I forget what it is. It's something
it's
crazy.
crazy how fast they get up to 60 or 100, whatever the.
But they were saying that, like, if you took that car, right, stock to an NHRA track, because it goes fast enough that you could do that, you would be in violation for the NHRA because this car goes so fast and it doesn't have a parachute to slow it down.
Right.
Like, that's their rule, is that, like, if your car is this fast, you have to have a parachute to slow it down.
Or you can't race
that
you.
car stock goes fast enough that the hot rod guys would say that it needs a parachute.
Wild.
But
Yeah,
of course, it doesn't have one because it's just a car.
I was on a driving mission with my dad the other day, and we're on the freeway, and a Tesla just went straight past us so quick, and I was above the speed limit myself by probably 10 kilometers an hour.
Right.
And this Tesla, I saw it coming in my rear mirror, and it just went straight past so quick. It's one of those moments where you sit there and you think, oh, I hope I see that dude pulled up on the side of the road by the police within a couple of kilometers. But I didn't get that satisfaction. He was gone.
Going
so
that
quick.
fast. He was going traditional Mad Max style. Come on.
Yeah. And I nearly, speaking of electric cars as well, I nearly got myself run over by one at the drive-through bottle shop the other day, because they just make no noise. There's no sound out of them.
Yeah, they're all.
And I walked straight out the door of the bottle and nearly get cleaned up by this. What was that one? Might have only been no, it wasn't a Prius. Yeah, it was some other electric car that just was making zero noise except for the tires on the road, on the driveway. And I've nearly walked straight into it because it was so quiet. And that's right. That leads me into also, I heard that some dude created a V8 engine noise that he could pipe out of his Tesla, so his Tesla sounded like a V8 instead of an electric car.
Yeah, there's been some startup companies like trying to do the make car sounds realistic for the electric cars. I don't know how well they've worked out, but I wish them the best.
It's a valid idea, especially for the safety of those walking around the vehicle. Such silence.
But then imagine like the difference for people who live near like motorways and roadways and stuff. If everything transitions to these electric cars and suddenly there's no pollution coming out and there's not huge highway noises and stuff coming past their house, and, you know, value skyrocket.
Yeah, true. Good point. But, you know, I think we've got a few years between now and then occurring.
Probably. Plus, you know, with young kids riding push bikes and stuff on roads, I am quite fond of loud car noises.
Yeah, because kids on push bikes on roads can be pretty stupid.
Yeah. They sure can.
It's like as soon as actually it might go for most humans that as soon as your buttocks attached to a bicycle saddle, maybe most of your sensibilities go out the window.
Right.
Maybe.
It's very true.
I mean, you just have to look at some of the clothing that these people wear on push bikes. 60-year-old men in Lycra is not necessarily what I want to look at when I'm driving into town. Thank you.
Yeah, but they want you to look because they stay right in the middle, right in front of you.
Oh, yeah, they
move
want-
off to the side so that you can. They pop it right in your face.
And we've got this from my side of town to get into town. We've got this bridge over the river that is 2 narrow lanes with a hefty, decent-sized footpath on the side of the bridge, which is also a legitimate bicycle path. Yet we have so many cyclists who choose to ride on the road section of the bridge, holding up traffic just because they want people to look at their Lycra pants and their tight fluorescent yellow shirts and stuff.
Right.
Although I have to say that this idea popping up now is actually making me feel like less hateful towards them, because if they're just wanting to show off their buns, then, you know, I feel a little bit better, because they really do take advantage of the fact that they're a vehicle and they can be on the road, and it's just simple consideration. If I'm driving a car heaps slower than somebody else, I pull kind of over to let that person go by who's come up behind me. But cyclists usually just won't do it. They just won't just take a tiny little bit to just go, well, just move over here a little bit, you know, to let somebody by. They just stick right in front of you and block you off. And, you know, I just...
It's like
I think it's very... And then they go, oh, people are so aggressive to us cyclists, and it's dangerous. And it's like, well... You know, if you've got no respect for your fellow humans, then, you know, maybe they don't. But if really they just need that, like, lift of, you know, having their bum looked at by someone else, I feel just slightly less off them.
Fair enough.
At least that makes me giggle at them and go,
Yeah, sorry, I might have used the term push bike in my description before. It's a maybe an Australianism for a bicycle.
oh,
That's
is
all
it? Does other people not say push bike?
Well, Alyssa Bentley has asked, "What's a push bike?"
Yeah, because you got to push it instead of having it powered by something else, I guess.
Is that not an Americanism? You don't call bikes push bikes over there, Corvus?
No. Like a bicycle? Yeah,
yeah.
Just call a bicycle a bicycle.
Yeah. Oh, well, you know, we've got multiple.
We call that
names
pushy.
for it. Pushy, yeah, that's a good one. It's short for push bike. There you go. Alien World Aquatics, there's another Australianism you've learnt then, mate. I know Scotty likes to learn his Australian slangs.
Nice.
But yeah, essentially, yeah, their bike world workout is extremely important. And yes, it seems that cyclists may potentially be the most important humans on the planet. So, give them their space. Pull over to the side of the road and let them go, because they must get their just desserts, which unfortunately some people think is running them over and knocking
But
them
it
off.
turns out they're just really insecure and need to feel good about their bodies. So we can all feel sad for them. And
Is that what it is? Speaking of feeling insecure, my bladder's really full and I'm insecure that it might burst.
You might explode.
I might leak. See this ooze. All of those ones.
Folks. Whoa. Well, you're making some wild noises over there.
oh my, I got a little bit vigorous. I've been trying to be quiet with it. Because also with my mic on the table, if I tap too much, it
You
really...
clunk on it.
I have to be careful. And I'm trying to be. It doesn't come naturally to me.
Being quiet.
Just being like really conscious of all the things.
All the
Particularly like because I'm like trying to draw. So that puts me in a really like carefree mind. I'm not worried about anything. Everything else is out the window. So yeah, it's hard to be like careful to not vigorously push and bang and be, biting and spitting.
Make a ruckus.
yeah. But that's the fun of it. The ruckus making part.
Agreed.
I like it. But I'm kind of surprised. I haven't even like finished one picture and we've been on for ages. It's a
For
slow
ages.
ages. I should have done like five by now. But I haven't got 5. I haven't even got 1. Probably because I've been busy trying not to make that ruckus, Maybe. Probably not.
Does that, talking about your art, does that mean that you just showed it?
No, I didn't show it. Oh, shit.
Billy, what's going on?
Wait. What are you barking at?
Whoa. Dog's going wild.
Something outside she's interested in.
Apparently. I can't see anything. Maybe Muffin's home.
Treadley, that's another good one. GRB. We used to call bikes Treadleys as well.
Hey, Billy.
If she could hear me, I'd shout at her and say, "Shut up."
Shut up.
But I think last time you tried to put the earbuds, she didn't want a bar of it, did she? Stop making all that noise, dog. Sit down and be quiet. This is your final warning before...
But if only you could have seen that face. She was like that.
Oh, so she did hear me.
Yeah, she did. Look, we'll try and show her.
Billy dog, Billy goat, what are you doing? She doesn't want to hear that.
She didn't have her face in the good angle, but she's like slightly disturbed.
It's probably got to do with the words that I chose to say to her.
What did you tell her?
I can't remember. You'll have to watch the replay to find out.
I know.
Someone will timestamp it.
This is what I've been doing. I don't know if it was a time well spent, but it's been entertaining for me.
It looks nice. What do we got? Watercolors and a little bit of ink or something?
No, they are acrylic paints, except for I put a tiny bit of watercolor in this
BG.
background bit. That like hot pinky bit is. No, I'm on my own,
It's got to be done.
all alone.
Nice.
So, it is what it is. It's better than sitting here folding my clothes. Like,
I wonder what
and
happened
I don't mean productively folding them. I mean, I sit here and like do this obsessive folding thing when I've got nothing else to do. So yeah.
What happened to
better-
Joel
it's
Gillard?
better than
Is he
that.
still around? I don't know if he's still around. He might have left.
To who?
Joel G. I don't know if he left. He might have left.
Yeah, I didn't see him say goodbye, so he's probably still lurking, doing Kiwi type things,
Doing
his
strange
own.
Kiwi stuff.
sitting in the corner, twiddling some string. I think that's what most New Zealanders do. I've got my 6 inches of string and I'm going to play with it for 4 days, else the world will collapse or something. I think that's
Is that
how
what
most,
Kiwis do?
I think that's mostly, I mean, it might be a mild generalization or stereotypification, but I think that's what most of them are up to. I think they've all got little hobbit houses in the corner of a hill and they're just playing with string.
Bit jealous of the sound of that, to be honest.
Well,
Having a little hobbit house in the side of the hill and lots of string. I could make happiness out of that.
I'll make a point to find you some extra string, love.
Please do.
Yeah, we
I
definitely
believe
need
I've got a
extra
roll.
string brought into the fold. That's what we need.
Yeah, maybe that's what the world's missing. There's not enough string in the world.
Maybe that's what I'll do next time we stream instead of drawing.
You'll just
I'll
twiddle
make-
with string.
Well, no, I'll make something out of string.
I can think of one thing that's on my bathroom windowsill and hanging from my bathroom curtain rod that needs a little bit of string attention.
Well, it's less that it needs string attention and more that it needs stone attention. But yeah, something like that. I could do those things to keep busy.
My neck has just been so bare since not having
Well,
that
I did
spongy thing around it.
buy you another stone actually. Didn't I? Remember that?
I don't.
Yeah, hang on.
Oh, Zen Ginger, yeah, string theory. Now we've got a new string theory. Humans would just be so much happier if they could find joy from string like the New Zealanders do. But I'm guessing Joel G potentially has left because surely he would have relished the opportunity to get up here and talk about his string.
It's true. I think he would have busted in and let us all know about the importance of his string situation.
Do you call it string in America or is it just twine? Surely string's a thing over there.
Yeah, it was invented in the United States. We invented it.
String.
Yep. String didn't exist before.
All right. Good to know. Good to know.
Yeah. You're welcome.
I
not
like a happy origin story. Now I've got the origin story of string.
Where string comes
Yeah,
from.
see, here it is. Apparently created by our Neanderthal cousins, right? Otherwise
Americans.
known as Americans.
I'm a little bit confused because Scungy went away talking about one thing, but she came back with juggling balls.
Oh yeah, so that was accidental because they were on top of the box. Because I thought that the stone I bought you, I put in that bit of cupboard, but it might be in the tub with my other stones now.
I've been relegated to the other tub.
Yeah, but it's the like jewelry making tub, so it's all right.
It's I must accept this.
I'm realizing that at some point in time we got to start doing some movie review videos. You know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm down for that idea because fuck knows I don't put any videos on my channel except for live streams these days.
We gotta find an editor that wants to edit it.
Yeah, that's the painful bit, isn't it?
What? I think I have a person that wants to do it, but we'll see. What would be our first movie? And it doesn't matter what movie it is. But what do the people in the chat say that they would want us to see us review?
I think most people would like to see you review Star Wars, a Han Solo story, a solo story. No, what's it called? Solo, a Star Wars story.
Solo, a Star Wars movie story.
Yeah.
That would be brutal. It would not go well.
Oh, welcome back,
so terrible.
Yeah, well, potentially we'd I think a really good avenue to go down would be potentially like vintage horror movies or something like that, something really left of center that not everyone's watching every day of the week. You know, what was that?
Yeah. I mean, it could be anything. I could take the time to take notes and review just about anything.
As long as it's available free to stream or within our paywall that we're already encumbered by.
What's that?
You know, like if we're going to review a movie, I don't want to have to go to Amazon Prime and pay $35 to rent it.
Well, that's a bit much.
Yeah.
But
I'm using that as a fresh example because of Black Widow.
That's like $30. I don't think we're doing anything that's that new.
Yeah.
But we could do some new stuff once it. I mean, I guess we could do some new stuff, but there's a whole catalog. The whole catalog is open to us. It could be anything. It could be. Yeah. It could be. Let's see. What was the Tom Hanks movie where he had a dog and he was a cop? What was that called?
Turner and Hooch.
Yeah, Turner and Hooch. We could do Turner and Hooch.
It's been freshly remade on Disney. Did you not see?
Is it really?
Yeah,
I didn't see that.
I think didn't we? We may have spoken about it last week because I'm fairly certain, unless it was somewhere else, that that was the first time I can remember in my lifetime where I legitimately saw my father laugh his ass off, and just because my dad's a fairly stoic individual, he doesn't giggle at much and stuff, and he was, basically roaring with laughter when that dog was sitting in the car chewing on his tennis shoe and all the spit and stuff hanging out of its mouth.
Oh yeah.
I still have that as a very, very fond memory from, potentially 35 odd years ago, maybe longer, depending on when that movie came out. Late 80s, I'm guessing. 88, 89, maybe.
88, 89. We could do Joe versus the Volcano.
Oh, yeah, that's classic. I like that one.
Right.
Yeah.
We could do a fish named Wanda. We could do what we could do? We could do Starship Troopers. We could do The Last Starfighter.
So many options.
There's
anyone
a lot of options.
Think that there's been thousands of movies made or something.
That's the weird thing. It seems like there's been like thousands of movies. Zen Ginger says rom-coms. I'm down to do rom-coms. Let's think. What's a good rom-com? I like watching them, and Vicky hates watching them. So it would be like double torture.
Yeah, right.
Rom.
Well, you're on
movie.
your Tom Hanks thing. When Harry Met Sally, isn't that the classic?
We could do When Harry Met Sally. I feel like there's like not a whole lot to review off of that, though. You know what I mean? Like,
not enough avenues for comedy. It's more of a rom and not so much com.
right. Let's see. What's some new ones? There's Long Shot with Charlize Theron and Seth Rogen.
Yeah. I never saw
Finding
that one.
You, The Wrong Missy, Wild
the
Mountain Time.
wrong Missy. I'd be interested in watching because what's her name? Lauren Lapkus.
All right, I haven't seen that.
That'd be good fun.
Who's Lauren Lapkus? Oh, the chick from Lonely Island, right? Wasn't she on Lonely Island?
Maybe. I'm not familiar with her from that. Lisa Bentley's got to go. See you soon, Alyssa. Thanks for swinging by.
She's got to go. IMDb. Here we go.
I know Lauren Lapkus primarily from her appearances on the Comedy Bang Bang podcast. Also, she does Freedom with Scott Aukerman and Paul F. Tompkins. That's a pretty funny podcast as a rule.
Mm-hmm.
She was also in the Between Two Ferns movie.
Oh yeah, she was in Between Two Ferns
production. She's
on American Dad, Corporate.
Yeah, she's good value. She's pretty funny, and she for two, like on Freedom when she's with Scott and Paul, who are awesome at improvising and stuff. She certainly holds.
Oh, that's what she was on. She was on Crashing. Have you seen the show Crashing?
I don't believe I'm familiar with that.
It's pretty good. It's what's that guy? It's Pete Holmes.
Oh yeah.
And it's about his stand-up. It's kind of loosely based on his stand-up start, and it's got like Artie Lang is in it. Like Henry Zabrowski, Dan Natterman.
Actually, I think
Mulaney shows up in it. Like, yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's like 3 series, and it weirdly got canceled. I don't know why, because I thought it was really good. But for some reason, they just stopped making it. It was on HBO. I'd recommend checking that out if you haven't seen it. It's pretty good.
What was it called? Crashing.
Crashing. Yeah.
And
she's
Zen Ginger. If you love Between Two Ferns, and you don't know Comedy Bang Bang, you need to get some Comedy Bang Bang in your life.
Yeah, you definitely do. Between Two Ferns is it's important for knowing what's going on in the world, really.
Absolutely. That's Comedy Bang Bang is my number one go-to podcast. It's my favorite. I've been listening for years and years and years now. I love the I'm just a big fan of Scott Aukerman's work and what he can drag out of other human beings.
Yeah.
And Freedom, of course, as well. Freedom's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure with the 6 degrees of separation around the world as well that someone will get my exalting praise to Scott Aukerman and let him know that I'm talking big about him. He'll love to hear it. What's all that banging around you're doing there, Scungy? Jeez.
There's a lot of banging around in the background. It's true.
Oh, no. After all my time of trying to be careful with the mic, I completely forgot about that. I was just trying to hunt for that fucking crystal. Sorry, I dropped paint everywhere on my painting. Yeah, I was trying to look for the crystal that I bought for you, and I couldn't find it.
You know, I just won't wear any crystal.
What?
Yeah, no. No, it's just like a smoky quartz, but like a really black one.
Running with the theme, I like it.
Yeah, I was trying to get one like as same as that prior one as possible, to try and see if I could just put it back in the same necklace instead of making a whole new one, which is not really a problem, but you know. I'm lazy.
Some people around the world equate laziness with efficiency. So, don't worry about that. Lazy is just another word for efficient.
I'm not worried about it. I'm just acknowledging it.
That's the first step, isn't it? The first step to accepting your laziness is accepting it.
Sure.
Wow. Please don't even think about hiring me for your motivational speaking tours. I'm not that guy.
Yeah. All right, buddy. It's going to be it for me today. I'm turning into a pumpkin.
Righto. Well, all the best for your travels. I know you won't get COVID. I know you won't get malaria. And I also know that you probably won't get much sleep because you'll be worried about COVID and malaria.
Well, I got my malaria meds, so I'm going to be taking those.
They mess you around a bit too, don't they?
Yeah, from my understanding, yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah, I've never gone that far afield that I've had to take them, but I've heard stories. Mel. Someone recommended your channel to me, but for the life of me, I can't remember who now. Well done, Mel. You found us anyway, and you're here.
Yeah, you found the weirdness. The weirdness that it is what we're doing. I drove everyone away. I was rambling on about nonsense. I made everybody leave. They all left.
I think we're used to you rambling on with nonsense and driving people away. That seems to be a weekly occurrence, isn't it?
Nobody hit the dislike button or left a comment for us, so we will never know.
Those bastards.
We'll never know.
Where's those? Maybe the person who was doing dislikes was in the room when we were talking about dislikes.
God, that must be it.
Removed their dislike and went and stood in front of a bloody mirror and had a good bloody long hard look at themselves.
Okay. Just staring. Oh God, what have I done?
What am I doing with my life? Slinging all these down thumbs.
All these downward facing thumbs. It's ridiculous.
So potentially we've witnessed a life-changing event here, ladies and gentlemen.
It's possible.
And others. That dislike person may have spontaneously combusted. But yeah, anyway, what I was saying before, have a good trip. I'm still going to next week. I'm going to sling you a link. You'll be on a similar time zone anyway, won't you? Being on a similar longitude. Yeah, longitude's vertical one.
No, let me check.
And if that other random dude who no one knows is around, get him to give us a nod and a wink or some shit like that.
So it's 2 hours ahead.
All right.
Of where I'm at right now.
A little bit further east.
And south. Significantly more souther.
Yeah, well, I kind of elided over that point because I felt it was kind of common knowledge that Peru's a little bit further south from the States.
It's a little more souther.
Souther.
About 4,700 miles more souther.
Hey, wow, some of this fire is green, apparently.
Crazy. That is weird.
Yeah, me and Scungy did the my Stormtrooper hot sauce. We did them the other night. Fucking let down. I tell you what.
Wasn't good.
None of them were even spicy.
Really?
They weren't spicy and they didn't taste nice.
Yeah.
I've been on this wild adventure of starting to make my own chili sauce.
I like the sound of this adventure.
And gotta tell you, I was thinking that I might have gotten an infection previous to my trip to Peru from the
From
interaction
too
I
much
had on the toilet.
alcohol.
It was powerful. It was a might bit stinging, and
That's probably solid prep for a foreign country tour, though.
I think so. I think that was, like it's gonna harden my insides, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, you got to prime that anus.
That's right. Got to get it primed up for rapid movement.
Ready that colon.
It's been advised to me to eat activated charcoal on a regular basis, but
Yes,
we'll see if I can remember that with the malaria meds on top of it. I mean, come on, this is a lot to remember, So.
Well, if you're camping at any stage, just when you wake up in the morning, just chew on one of the leftover fire logs.
So what movie have we settled on? The Wrong Missy?
Yeah, righto. Let's do that one.
All right.
But whether we talk about it on this stream or whether we record, how are we gonna? That's a whole logistical nightmare, isn't it? We'll have to sort that out of how we pin together some video footage and then.
Well, the thing is that we can just do the audio if we script out our objections or agreements or whatever, then we can just do it on here and record it, right? We could just set up a room where we're not broadcasting. Do we have to broadcast with StreamYard, or can we just chat?
You've got on StreamYard, I have to have the paid account to be able to record what you do. So
okay.
You might have to do it through your OBS or whatever you use.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we can definitely set it up and then broadcast, and then I can just send all the hot takes to the editor and have them edit it and see what it looks like.
And then, if the first one goes well, then we do it again. I'll definitely find out. It has been a film that I've a film that I've been meaning to watch, The Wrong Missy, for quite a while. I'd be quite happy to have a view of that one and see what we can make of it. And anyone who, if you've got suggestions of movies that you'd like to hear me and Corvus argue about, email me, drblack66@gmail.com. Sling us your suggestions. We might make this a thing. Scungy might even get involved. She likes watching movies and trashing them.
No, I was thinking, is this an opportunity for me to prescribe some movies for you guys to watch, and then I can hear what you thought about them.
I suspect that we'll potentially get all Studio Ghibli movies from you.
No, I like them, but no, they would not be my first thoughts.
We'll see what the Scungy comes up with.
Yeah,
you bring some.
I'm intrigued.
I'm intrigued too.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, I gotta go and get some bed here and figure out what the hell.
Everything.
Deliver myself.
All right, dude. Go well. Bless, love, and all of that good stuff.
Quick, BJ
Stay
Palmer's asking
alive.
if I have one of the drink bottles with the filter and the straw. It's called a Life Straw. Yeah, I have one. If anybody's wondering, I'll get a link here real quick.
Kevin's Canines and Aquatics coming through saying there is a new feature on StreamYard where you can record and not broadcast.
Oh, there's a new feature.
I'm still convinced that that's only if you pay for your StreamYard. So maybe I've got to put my money where my mouth is and actually invest in StreamYard if I'm going to constantly bitch about having to learn OBS.
Having to learn is a difficult task.
Well, it is when you're a lazy old bastard like me.
Mel's wondering if I'm going on Naked and Afraid. No, I'm going on.
Not intentionally.
Go to the Amazon and catch fish and film it for YouTube. That's what I'm going on. I can't imagine anybody's going to be naked on a family-friendly YouTube channel.
Yeah, Kobe's not going to allow that. If anyone's going naked, it's Kobe
That's right.
or else.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I got to go to bed, bud. I'll talk to you
All right,
later.
dude. Go well. Vio con Dios and all that stuff.
Upward and onward.
Talk to you soonish.
Mm-hmm.
And then there were two. Crikey. That was potentially the loudest inhale I've ever heard from a human on this planet in my entire existence. I can't even replicate it.
But I did like kind of. You can't even tell. You can't even see it on there, can you?
What?
Just anything.
Yeah, I can see all the extra stuff you've done since last year showed it.
That's that.
Oh, well done. But only one piece this time. I've heard
Yeah.
the same before.
That's what I was like interested in. How? Oh, whoops! I dropped that short one in the jar. Slimy in the jar. Okay, we're gonna get that out later.
It'll come
Yeah,
out
well,
in the wash.
I usually will do quite a few, but you know, who knows?
You can't predict the flow, love. It just happens.
Sure.
Whoops. Oh, that doesn't work, does it? Fight! Fight! Fight!
Yeah, they don't need encouragement because
Next into the ring is Scungy's kids having a biff. 5 rounds of exciting kitty punches. Mate, they sound like they've sorted it out. What responsible, mature children. Tropico. Oh, there we go. One of the mods sling up Scungy's art link again. If we've got new people like Mel here that's enjoying Scungy's art, we might as well give them a link so they can enjoy a whole bunch more of Sarah's artwork.
what's that? Send them to my Instagram.
Instagram. I know GRB slings your Big Cartel link as well.
I just reckon that Insta is the best because that's where you can actually see pictures, and then there is attached to that. There's a link to the Big Cartel, which I have not. I've got to do a huge upheaval of it, so I haven't been doing. It's basically a non-event at the moment.
Your
The Big
Instagram.
Cartel.
Oh.
But yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say there hasn't been a post on your Instagram for a few days.
No, yeah, there hasn't been. It's because I don't know. I get really like I make them into drafts and stuff, and then I just don't feel like I can post them. I don't know what that is. I don't know what happens. I think it's about like, so I wish that I could go on Instagram and you could like get your drafts and you could shift them around so you can see how it's going to look aesthetically once you post them, because I have an issue with like when they go out of whack and then I don't like the way that they look. So then, yeah. But you can't do that. You have drafts, but you can't like shift them around in order so that you can see them properly. So yeah, I often leave stuff and don't do it. Plus, I'm really not very good. I've got lots of like big pieces that I can't work out how to like photograph properly.
Yeah, right.
And so I end up, if I doing lots of big stuff and not lots of little tiny ones, then I don't end up posting a lot because um, because I can't take good pictures of them. They're either like angled, so they're like wider in the foreground, and or else there's like light shining on them or shadows from me trying to take the picture of them. I just haven't mastered that, so
Mel, maybe you want to subscribe to Sarah's YouTube channel then, called Strasfrado, I think it is.
Why is it even called that? I mean, that is a name that I've used before for things, but I'm meant to be on like Scunge Princess on the YouTube stuff, and I'm trying to work out where it's pulled the Strasfrado from, because it was like an old name I had on a couple of things.
YouTube uses your Google name, so whatever you've put into your Google account. So potentially your Google is strasfrato@gmail.com or some nonsense like that.
I don't have a Gmail email. That makes sense.
Well,
I've only got a Hotmail email.
That. Replace your Hotmail with your Gmail. Yeah, Mel, she's got.
No, I'm not gonna get rid of my Hotmail. I don't want a Gmail.
Righto. Because Google will steal your data and stuff.
No, just because I use my Hotmail all the time. It's been my email address for 20-something years.
Yeah, I had a Hotmail and I must have not accessed it for a little while, and I don't have access to my Hotmail anymore, which was unfortunate because I had at least 2 of my music production programs registered through that email address, and then it's gone, and now I have to go and buy those softwares again if I want legitimate use of music production software. Oh, did I say good day to Terry? Sorry, Terry, if I didn't, but if I did, you fucking just got a second one for free, mate. But yeah, super looking forward to more videos on your YouTube channel.
Good luck. I mean, look, I set up this whole setup here so that I could maybe make videos, because apparently that's what the world wants, is videos. Like even on Instagram, that's the whole outrage, and lots of artists that I follow, that's what the dialogue is about, is that Instagram is promoting more videos and stuff. So I set myself up. I've got I can't pull that into the thing. It's like a holder for my phone,
with a ring light around it.
Well, no, I've got one of those too, like this guy here. Yeah. But what I found about that guy is it's made for taking selfies. It's not made for looking at a drawing on the table, because as soon as I can make it bend over to look on the table, but then as soon as I put my phone in it, it's too heavy and it falls down.
Kevin, read above. If you Scunge Princess's YouTube channel currently is Strasfrado, but potentially we'll be looking into how to change that from Strasfrado into Scunge Princess, so the brand spills through.
Well, yeah, because when I look at mine, it just says Scunge Princess. Like I'm looking at it now, and that's what it's saying.
Yeah, right.
And I can't see anywhere where it actually says Strasfrado on it still.
It's in your whatever Google account you set your YouTube up with. That's what you've got to tie it to. It'll be in there somewhere. So you do have a Gmail somewhere.
I have a Google account, but I don't have a Gmail account. Like I don't have an email.
If you've
I used my email address to sign up for my Google account.
Right.
When
Gotcha.
I just signed in before so that I could subscribe to Josh's channel, I had to sign in using my email address into Google. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. They don't have it like Gmail email anything.
Gotcha.
But presumably then I have to change it in my Google account. Is that what you're saying? That's where you reckon it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's right. I'll do that. It's not really overly important to me.
Oh, but it is. It is, though.
Okay.
Because you've got all of these millions of people around the world looking for
I
scunch
know.
pamphlets, and they're going, "What's this Strasrado stuff? Who's that all
Yeah.
about?"
Yeah, it was just someone who was frustrated and drunk at the same time.
That's the deepest explanation I've got about that name yet. You've never really been able to explain where that came from.
Huh. It came from being. Oh no! It came from
when I suggested it was.
I was at the middle
frustration.
pub after drawing one day in about 2006, maybe, and we're at the pub with my friend Scott, and I was trying to explain to him that I was feeling frustrated, and ended up saying that I was Strasfrato. And so, when I had to come up with some name for something, I was just like, oh, yeah. And I put that in there. It's not really very significant or anything. It's
It
just.
seems kind of significant all of a sudden because you've never told me that explanation before.
Oh, really? That's all it is. Because, so that's all that it was, though. He was Bonnie's partner, Scott, and I don't know, we all used to go drawing together. He designs toys for Moose, and
Like he exchanges designs for chocolate mousse.
no, you know Moose toys?
No.
You don't know Moose?
No. Should I?
Really? Oh, yeah, because they do like heaps of shitty kids' toys stuff.
Yeah, I don't really play with kids' toys much anymore,
Sure.
except for Lego.
All right. Well, yeah. And, it's not very significant at all.
I started chatting with a dude in the post office the other day and I asked him about his shirt and he said, "Oh, it's designed by my friend Bonnie."
And
I
was it
said,
my Bonnie?
"No, it wasn't."
Oh, could have
I said,
been, though.
"Oh, is that Bonnie with the really long ginger hair?" And he's like, no, she's this girl from Melbourne." And then I realized
She did live in Melbourne for a while, but no, she's always had hair.
I did realize with his hipster appearance that he potentially wasn't necessarily a local lad.
Sure.
So yes, he yeah, and it was a different Bonnie, as few Bonnies are there are around the place. It was a completely different Bonnie.
As few Bonnies as there are designing shirts around the place.
Yeah, and I mean that was the link. I thought Bonnie's got shirts on her Redbubble stuff. So yeah, I thought maybe he just bought a Redbubble shirt off Bonnie, but no, different Bonnie. And then I saw that dude again yesterday in town with his freakishly stylish mullet. It's very impressive. I was quite impressed with the kid's hair. Quite disgusted and impressed at the same time, which is an interesting thing to experience.
I don't know. It kind of goes that way because it's something that can it moves you strongly, So you can get a whole range of different reactions in one.
Yeah. Has there ever been a more evocative hairstyle than the mullet?
Probably not.
Probably not. I have a great nephew who's rocking a splendid mullet at the moment, and he's perpetually no, they are continuing to let his mullet become his thing, which is awesome. I was gonna say awful, but I meant awesome to instill such things on a child of such a young age.
I always just figure you let them do whatever they want, and then they usually do some really crazy shit. But it's good because there's a small window of your life where you can really get away with anything, and it's when you're little, because you're so cute.
Yeah,
and everyone just like accepts you as you are.
You can even pinch boobs as a toddler and get away with it.
I know.
I tried that last week and I got slapped. You just can't do that as a grown man. Oh, Mel, are you an Australian as well? Mel might be an Australian YouTuber. Let us know, Mel.
Out of interest, no, never mind. It's all right. I was going to ask you who, denied you boob pinchery, but I decided that I didn't have to worry about that.
That was basically a what do you call it? What's that word? It was a lie to perpetuate a gag or a joke.
Well, that doesn't make it as funny.
No, now that you've made me have to explain it.
I didn't. I said I wasn't going to ask.
I don't just walk around the street pinching boobs to see who I get a rise out of.
I don't know. I took you to the beach once.
Yeah, I was very drunk then, though. Mental note, everyone watching: do not take Dr. Black to the beach when he's extremely drunk.
Or do, but like be prepared for some really heavy shit to go down.
Or that,
because we did drive away in like a bit of a hurry.
It's good to have options. Do or do not. Yeah, well, Mel, there's only like 19 of us down here. We must know each other, surely. Where are you, Mel? What part of this Australia are you located in? And always great to have another Australian turn up to these streams. Sometimes I feel that these streams are just basically designed to keep Americans from going to sleep at night. Because we seem to do that quite well. Oh, Western Australia. You must know Jace and Brendan and stuff then. If you live over there, there's only 9 people in WA. You must be great mates with Jace, who once again turned down my invitation to turn up on this stream. It's only been about 19 weeks in a row. Mel, is that question? So you guys live near each other or old friends? I'm assuming that's referring to us. We don't really live near each other. We're like 30 minutes apart. But as the what do you call it? The human population would see us. We're a couple. Well, we just live apart. We're deeply in love. We love each other so much that one of the only ways we can contact is via these live streams once a week. Kind of. The Perth Flipper. Look out. I recognise the logo, but I don't recognise the name. Jace has showed up. Where the fuck were you when I sent you an invite to come on the stream, mate? You should still have the link. Get on the link, Jace. Come on. So, Jace, do you know Mel Mel? Surely you guys went to school
Of course he
with
does.
each other or something. Yeah. They probably were in the same family daycare together or something when they were wee bands. Start breeding program. Are you talking about human breeding or fish breeding, Mel? Because I know
have to read the things.
With a limited population that is over in Western Australia, no doubt they need to breed some more humans to fill it out a bit more. There's a lot of square kilometres that still need to be filled with human habitation, even though some of it's inhabitable.
Hey, like, can you buy like newspaper that doesn't have print on it?
That's a
What would
really
that
good
paper be?
question. Potentially best question served to the Google.
Yeah, I suppose.
But I'm
It's
sure
just that
it's got newspaper printing services must buy their blank newspaper from somewhere.
Yeah, but it's just like maybe it's only available in giant, massive rolls or something.
Potentially. G'day, Casval. Long time no see.
I just suddenly, I want to draw on it.
On newspaper.
It's doing this really delightful thing with the pencil. Like, it's really interesting.
Reminds me of a Wiggles song.
Newspaper.
Gonna get your newspaper, mama, newspaper, mama, newspaper, mama, every day.
There you
Wasn't that
go.
the Wiggles?
I wouldn't know. I had like kids, but that wasn't. We didn't do that sort of thing.
You didn't do the Wiggles?
Nah.
Man, I think I took two of my sons to a Wiggles live show in Brisbane one time.
Fun stuff.
It was very, very, very interesting.
Yeah, no, I mean, I didn't let my kids have telly. I just read them stories. I sang them songs and stuff. You know, I tried to avoid all that stuff as much as possible.
It's good to have options.
Just for my own personal, like, no judgment on it. I'm not saying it as a superior or not. It's just like I didn't do it because that wasn't how I felt with my kids at the time. But yeah, I mean, I miss having those little guys.
Those little tiny versions of what you've got now.
Yeah. They were just so more like lovely.
Wait until they're full grown men and they're coming to bum weed and tobacco off you every day. Got that to look forward to yet.
Sure do. So I'd already, like, it took me a while of processing when my eldest, like, sounded like a man in my house. That was really weird. But it just was freaking me out so badly. But I like mostly come to terms with it now. And yeah. But I just miss, like, they're so funny when they're little, when they're like unfiltered, you know. It's really nice.
Yeah, but you know, when they grow up and they start being funny as well, that's also brilliant. Like
Yeah.
my three boys all say amazingly funny stuff, and yeah, I'd rather the funny adult stuff that they come out with than, you know, oh, he spewed on his shirt, or he pooped down his leg a little bit. That's all great comedy, but
No, but that's
really,
only like in their first couple of months. I'm talking about, like, you know, once they're actually conversing and walking around in the world and stuff, but they're still like, yeah, I don't know. It's nice. Like, it's nice. The adult relationship is a nice thing, but I just there's something really freaking magical about the little ones.
oh, which one, Jace? I just recently watched all the Young Ones again. Young Ones is classic.
Pretty much.
Oh, right. I misread his message. He said he feels like he's watching a Young Ones episode. Now I'm confused. I've Casval, I've not bred neon tetras myself. I've kept them a few times, but I've never had them successfully breed. Potentially because whenever I've kept them in a community tank with other fish that potentially will gobble up their babies or their eggs. But yeah, I'm fairly certain they're just like a egg scatterer, aren't they? So if you put them in the right conditions, you'll get hundreds of them. I'm fairly certain. But the chat may correct me, having not been a tetra breeder myself. Yeah, wow, grandkids. What a suggestion. Don't want to think about grandkids at the moment because it's potentially a thing that I might experience soon.
It's possible, isn't it?
Well, when you've got a son who's been in a long-term relationship with his high school sweetheart and they still see each other every day and stuff. Yeah, I hope they're being safe. I hope they get their careers sorted before they worry about kids. And I hope their prime concern is to, you know, not make me feel extra old by being a grandfather just yet.
As it should be.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Also, with respect to the neon tetra breeding, I think, don't they breed in the rainy season? So if you simulate a rainy season by some big water changes and stuff, I think that also helps trigger their breeding. I could be wrong on that. I might be thinking of completely different fish, but I have a feeling that a lot of tetras respond well to big water changes when it's breeding time. Yeah, good thinking. I've got a whole bunch of white clouds that I'm hoping are going to start breeding soon. They're in a very good environment to do so. But yeah, only, what is it, about 2 months in with my white clouds, I think. So might have a little bit of waiting before I see any babies from the white clouds. But yeah, I'm hoping they do because I've got a big bathtub out the back waiting for some summer fish. Yeah, I know what you're saying, BJ. It's sort of yeah. At the first moment I heard it mentioned about potentially having kids and stuff, I was like, whoa, what? I'm going to be a granddad? Whoa.
I think that my mum was a grandma at like 40. So, you know, it's quite a young age to be. I think she struggled with it quite a lot, but
Just because of her age and how she is.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm just being silly, really. I don't think it would affect me at all. I think it'd be fantastic if one of my kids successfully bred with another human being. I'm sure it'll be a bonus.
You know, if they're happy. I still, you know, my nephew and his girlfriend had a baby when they were, you know, quite young. I think she was 16. And it was really concerning at first, like, oh, what are they going to... And they just pulled together so hard. They just grew up and got their shit together, and they're like, they're tight. They just had their second baby. They've got their lives so together, and I think it's in a way that they wouldn't have done if they hadn't have had kids, you know.
Yeah, sure.
They were on a sort of downward path, I suppose, and that sort of righted them. And it's such a, you know, they're a beautiful little family.
It's that kind of thing, isn't it? It either makes or breaks you as a couple. If you have a baby, it's either going to completely enrich and fulfill your life, and it can go the other way and completely destroy you as a human couple.
And, you know, I think that that's even probably more so, you know, if you're really young.
Yeah, absolutely. I just, I know you hate being on your own on screen and stuff, but I really need to disappear for like just a few seconds and I'll come back. So if you can read the chat.
That means that I should try and talk and not just zone out. Right?
I'm going to put it out there now to the chat that any questions that you've been stewing on for ages that you've been wanting to ask Scungy, spit them out now. Get in there. I am Mel. I am. I'm going to go out the back into the paddock and pee on a bush. She knows. It's like she's been here forever. She knows my peeing regime. But yeah, sling those questions at Scungy so she's got something to do while I'm gone. And you've got something to watch, and then I'll probably come back and, you know, call it quits or something. Depending on how relieved I feel after this wee, I might feel great and want to go for another 2 hours. Time will tell. I'll be back. Sling those questions, Scungy questions. We need a segment piece. I need a little video. Questions for Scungy. Maybe not.
Yeah, because that kind of assumes that I have interesting things to say, which like I probably don't. Sorry, guys. Can you shut that face? But you know, if you do have questions, I will try and read them and answer them. But I don't know who sent you here. I suppose it depends where have you been. You go retrace your steps to find out. But it's interesting actually to think, you know, well, you got to think what sort of environment you might have been in that people might have thought that this was a good, you know, place for you to come, where you would enjoy it and fit in. But unfortunately, I don't have the answers. No. Wow, that's a good question, isn't it? But I actually don't have the answer, but I think he's a folder because even though he does poop with the door open, I try not to watch.
What the fuck? Was that in reference to if I'm a folder or a scruncher?
Yeah. I said I don't watch, but I think you're probably a folder based on the other toilet habits that I've seen.
Wow. What about a non-user?
Yeah, well, that's true, you know. But would you not like to use any at all? Because he jumps straight in the shower afterwards. But you don't even use any? Like a little bit to just like tidy up before you get in the shower?
Yeah, only if it's been a really rugged one.
And so in that situation, see, I don't count myself as either, but somewhere in between.
I think I tend to fit into that category as well, because sometimes I will, if I need to, I will fold, but other times I'm happy just to scrunch up a ball just to get rid of the excess and whatnot before hitting the shower. But
see, I just don't fold like really neatly, but like I find a scrunch is kind of inefficient. You don't have enough control with a scrunch, so a rough kind of fold.
fucking hell, who asked these questions to get us onto toilet habits? Jason.
No,
Jason.
How many toilet habits have I seen? I've seen all of his. I'm pretty sure. I just don't pay. I don't want to watch, but I'm usually in the next room.
How many toilet habits can a person have?
Well, you've got a very set procedure.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Doesn't everyone have a set procedure? So their toilet habits might only be a very, very short list of actions and whatnot. I'm with Casval. Yeah, very, very rarely does toilet paper even touch my date. Casval.
Well, I obviously need it
in my shower just for exactly that, so I can clean up a poo effectively afterwards in the shower. Toilet paper hurts my dot.
I like a combo. I don't like getting up from the toilet without having wiped my butt. Even for that few steps to the shower, it's just not a nice feeling.
Yeah, like I said, when it's been a disastrous and atrocious style of poo, I'll definitely give it a courtesy wipe for myself. I'll issue myself that courtesy that some of that needs to go down this hole and not this hole over here.
Nice.
But yeah, sometimes I couldn't be bothered to fold up some toilet paper to make it look pretty before I soil it terribly. And I will just rip some off and go for the quick scrunch and rip and then jump in the wet. But I think it's been many, 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 many moons since the last time I've pooped without following it with a shower. How the fuck have you people got us talking about poop?
It's not very hard if you really there's probably poop talk every day.
Indeed. I mean, it
so
doesn't take much.
it does. Yeah, no.
I see what you did there, Zen Ginger. This stream has gone in the toilet.
A fun place to be.
It's always good for someone to leap on an obvious segue. My head's gotten really itchy all of a sudden. That's better. Now I look like Norman Reedus.
Give it another one. I want to touch it now. Make it change. Yeah, all right. That'll do.
Yeah, you're not going to be happy until I shave it all off.
That's not true.
I don't poop if I'm out, Mel, unless a really dire circumstance has occurred.
Mike, surely that's the same for everyone, though.
Yeah.
There's no joy in like pooing not at home.
Absolutely. And if I'm in a situation where I'm out and I have to poo, something has gone horribly wrong with my schedule through the day.
Yeah.
Or in my internals. I've picked up a bug since I left home this morning that needs me to poop outside. But yeah, if I'm outside, I prefer to poo near a crate.
No. You always have to wash. Like, not washing just doesn't seem like a realistic option, does it? It's not really removing the poo. Not really.
Well, I was like, because I struggled with fucking, I don't know why we're into this subject, but I struggled for so long in my younger years with dealing with poop and stuff. And as soon as I worked out that you could just get in the shower and wash your bloody ass, fucking hell, that was a bloody life-changing moment for me, because I've got such terrible poop stuff going on and an issue with peristalsis. Can Australians keep native venomous snakes? Most definitely we can, Casval. We have a rigid licensing system down here for all reptile keeping. And you need a certain license or permit, if you will, to keep certain snakes. It's a tiered sort of thing, you know, entry level, some lizards and non-venomous snakes. Then the next one up is hair on the fingers, venomous snakes, and it keeps climbing up. And the more you want to keep, the higher the license you need and the more regulations you need to stick to. But yeah, most certainly we can keep native ones. You cannot just collect them from the wild unless you have a zoological permit, I believe. You need to get captive bred venomous reptiles. The same with the non-venomous stuff. You're supposed to only keep captive bred specimens, not collected from the wild ones. You need an entirely different license to collect creatures from the wild. But yeah, appreciate the question.
I got to see my first snake of the season out on the road yesterday. A quite unhappy brown snake.
Quite unhappy brown snake. Unhappy at being stuck on the road with cars.
Yeah. Like, it was, I think, a quite not very old one. But yeah, I mean, it was alone on the road. It's a quiet road. But when I came and I went carefully around it, but it was real angry and it was lunging at the car.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, they're not necessarily renowned for their placid behavior, are they, the brown snakes?
No.
And it's, as you were saying the other day, even though it's not quite spring yet, the weather has other things to say. It is
It's spring weather.
quite spring weather. And one moment, sorry. Once the spring starts, the male brown snakes start traveling and looking for territory to conquer and other male brown snakes to fight. So predominantly not necessarily at this time of the year, but within the next month, normally we'd start to see a lot of brown snake activity as they're coming out battling for territory, which again is a fantastic segue into going back on my YouTube channel to the brown snakes that I had fighting for the territory of my backyard a few years ago. No one's going to throw that link in quick, are they?
Hang on a sec.
But yes, amazing thing to see is brown snake battle, or any snakes battling really for territory. The brown snakes battle for quite a large territory, and they get access to all of the females in that territory. So generally, for most Australians, the first snakes they see in snake season are the brown snakes coming out, starting to fight for territory, because they don't care where they do it. They do it out in the open. They do it all over the place, in people's backyards, on their cement. If you watch my video from 17 years ago or something, you'll see what I mean. Wait, Cuzval says, we are not allowed to keep non-native venomous snakes, and we are not allowed to keep native non-venomous snakes. Where are you, Cuzval? I'm estimating Northern Europe somewhere with your name, but I don't want to typecast anyone so early in the piece. Australia is very, very, very strict on foreign snakes as well. I think the only way you can keep your muted scungy, if you're right, you're giggling at that guy beside you.
Yeah. I'm deliberately muted.
I think the only way you can keep foreign snakes in this country is if you've got a zoological permit, which means you're making a zoo. Oh, I thought the US you could basically get anything. And sorry for the Northern European assumption. That was terrible. But I'm smoking a cigarette, so I've got an excuse for terrible behaviour. Yeah, I suppose, is there a licensing system in the US as well when it comes to keeping reptiles and stuff? Because that, what's his name? Chandler's Reptiles or whatever he's called. He's got all sorts of foreign stuff going on, doesn't he? Oh, GRB coming through with the brown snake link. Put that in your to watch, ladies and gentlemen. You'll see me shaking like a schoolgirl because I'm extremely frightened of brown snakes. They are one of the only creatures on the planet that scares the absolute shit out of me because they're so unpredictable and they were so close to me.
Yeah.
Worth a watch.
That's one of my highest states of anxiety was when we lived in a house and I had like small children in total brown snake territory. Like we would have them coming through all the time. And it was really like, it was a whole street full of little kids and stuff. But, you know, there was never any disasters. They did try and keep away, but like, it's a lot of anxiety just knowing that they're there and there's all kids playing and stuff. Hi.
Well, I think the simple fact that brown snakes just don't give a fuck who they attack is the biggest thing. And, you know, it's not necessarily an attack as such. It's a complete defensive behavior from the snake. But if any snake has a reputation for aggression and attacks and stuff, it's the eastern brown snake. Oh, even the western brown snake, the dugite from the Western Australia, that GRB is probably familiar with. They have a similar sort of reputation for their aggro and arcing up at humans getting in their shit.
Hi, don't lick me. I don't like it.
Don't lick at me.
Come on then. Oh.
That microphone's got some good pickup. Oh, it was just you. It wasn't even the dog.
That's right.
That was a very, very good impression. Interesting.
Yeah, no, she's quite puffed.
Is that why there's so many US-based carpet snake breeders? Because you don't need a license. You can just breed hundreds and hundreds of them unlicensed. What an interesting situation. Yeah, down here the licensing system is very heavily regulated. Pretty much as soon as you're registered with a reptile license, you can be audited at any time. You're required to keep certain records and whatnot. You're supposed to record your feedings, your temperature checks daily, all of this kind of stuff. And if the regulatory body comes along and audits your paperwork and you've got something amiss, you can be subjected to heavy fines or loss of license. So a lot of people consider that not getting a license is a lot easier than actually having a license and being official, because you're not necessarily going to be subjected to a pop-in audit of your systems and whatnot. So some people just avoid the license entirely and keep a whole bunch of reptiles illegally. I've got some serious hiccups going on. You're muted, Scungy, so don't try and talk.
Does that mean that when did I? Oh, yeah, I muted when he asked me about that. It's okay.
Absolutely, BJ. That's what a loose regulatory system creates. Is it creates havoc. But you know, we've got pockets of boa constrictor populations in southern New South Wales because people let them go or they escape and they don't do anything about it. Yeah, GRB. They're essentially the dugite, which is the western brown snake, is essentially the same snake as the eastern brown snake. So they're equally as aggro and fire up bull, if that's a word. You can get them fired up without even putting a thumb up their bum. But yeah, I think they're both Pseudonaja textilis. I think the dugite has something at the end of its name other than textilis. But yeah, eastern brown snake, Pseudonaja textilis or textilis. And the dugite is Pseudonaja textilis, something else. Righto, Mel. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, let us know who sent you so I can slap him upside the head, or something like that. She's gone now anyway, probably. Florida, it makes sense that they are strict on reptile keeping because there have been so many fuck-ups there in the past. All the Burmese pythons that are infesting the Everglades and stuff. Yeah, hognose would be an interesting snake to keep because, like you say, they're not very venomous, but they're fun to poke and make them do that. They're the ones that play dead, aren't they? Roll over onto their back and expose their belly. Seems a very, very, very interesting defensive technique to expose your weakest point. No, Mel, you work out who it was and tell them to hurry up and come back because they obviously haven't been here. Otherwise, I'm sure they would have told me that they recommended you to come here. Yeah, I'd probably be keen to play with a hognose if the worst I was going to get out of it was a bee sting. Oh, wow, my green screen is making my red eyes look even redder. I noticed that this morning, how bloodshot my eyes looked. It was ridiculous. It looked like I'd been smoking joints for 14 or 15 hours. I don't think I'd ever... I haven't seen them that red for a long time, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Welcome to Australia's issue, BJ Palmer, is that we have so many feral creatures absolutely decimating our native populations and stuff. And, it's almost like it's too late to do anything about it. But thankfully, we've a super sensible government that is willing to throw money at projects extending the life of native animals and stuff. Show us your picture, Scungy, so we can close this down and split. Go and
I'm just drawing on a piece of newspaper on my table at the moment. The only one I did today is that one that I already showed you. Otherwise, it's all old ones I did on different days. But there he is. It's all done.
What's your newspaper that you're drawing on then? Like with actual newsprint on it?
Yeah. It's a Nimbin Good Times.
Nimbin Good Times. GRB will appreciate that, no doubt.
I've got a stack of them, and they make good covers for. Actually, I laid it out because I was doing clay on it, and now it's covered in paint and drawings.
That's what you want. Better than probably the nonsense that they print in the newspapers these days.
I don't know. As far as nonsense in newspapers, it's a decent one, I think. Comparatively, if I had to choose a newspaper to read, it's, I had to. wouldn't be the worst one.
Fair enough. Mel says, "Holy crap, you're talented." I'm
Oh, I don't know
fairly
about that.
certain she means U apostrophe RE, but I'm not going to play spelling Nazi this late in a stream. If I was going to be the spelling or grammar Nazi, I would have started so much earlier this stream. Oh, there we go. Can I put Mel's question on the screen for you to answer, Scungy?
Well, most of the time it comes just from some deep recesses in my brain, I think. So if I go into a good state where I stop thinking, then that's when paintings come and happen. Sometimes I go to a life drawing group, I guess. It's not like a tutored class, but and so I get sort of inspired by those kinds of shapes. And I suppose that on some level there's inspiration in all sorts of parts of life. But really, when I'm thinking of doing work, the key is to not think about it. Because when I start thinking about it, then it sucks. The art that comes out feels like it sucks if I think about it first. But if I don't, then it's a little bit like, I don't know. It's like, if you're like dreaming, but you're like kind of semi-aware that you're dreaming, and then you like can watch it unfold. Or when you close your eyes and you've got all the lights and like you can get like images that kind of like come up in front of your eyes, and you don't know like what shapes they're going to take next. It's like that. It's like you stop thinking and then it just like comes out, I think. I can probably like talk for like a long time, but potentially not interestingly.
Well, I was just thinking that the amount of times I've heard you talk about where your paintings come from, I don't think I've ever heard it the same way, and I've never been disinterested from listening to you describe the process.
Well, that's nice. That's because you love me.
Oh, maybe that's got a little bit to do with it. Who can tell? It's a strange world.
Yeah.
It also, letting you talk gave me an opportunity to roll a cigarette and start smoking again. Don't smoke, kids. It's bad for you. And if you smoke, give up. Go on. Just give up. Or you'll get green screen teeth like me.
Oh, those are pretty flash, love. I like those teeth.
Flashing. Nice, Mel. Thanks for swinging by. Kudos. I'll if you do remember who that person was that sent you here, I'll send them a big bucket of kudos in the post. That's a special achievement that regular viewers to this show will note. Not everyone gets a big
give it
bucket
to me?
of kudos.
If you're going to give it to me, I'm not snatching it off you. Sorry. My dog's bringing me Kong.
She wants
Thank
something
you.
in the Kong, potentially.
She does want something in the Kong. It's quite a rude shape, isn't it? Now that I'm looking at it on the screen. But yeah, she wants me to...
It wasn't until you said it's quite a rude shape.
Yeah. But it is. And it's got like all these curly black hairs all over it. And it's slimy.
It sounds ideal.
It's really nice. It's a nice thing to hold. Really nice.
Might have been Prawnies and Ginger. Prawnies, he's still alive. He's out there. He's just, he's at that stage in his life where stuff happens and life stops you doing anything else?
Do one of you want to do Kong?
Yeah, I did see that, Casval. Very impressive.
Thanks. Go on, Soren will do it.
Yeah, now you want to go and wash your hands, don't you?
I do. But, I figure, well, you're wrapping up because that was why, otherwise I would just go and do it and come back. But it's kind of that time of the day.
Yeah, probably should think about wrapping up. I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah, but it's got a hole in the middle of it. So I don't think it will be an efficient plug.
Stopper of butt worms.
Mm.
Yeah, it's no butt plug. Yeah, it's basically opening the door for butt worms, essentially a Kong.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm fairly certain that Kongs exist in the US as well, so people know what a Kong is and that it would be an ineffective butt plug to defend against butt worms. All right, so we might say goodbye then. I was thinking about playing a song out.
Like a lively one?
No, because that means I'd have to get up and go and get a guitar and stuff. And then YouTube might flag me for playing someone else's music. And then you'd want to sing along and you'd be like 3 seconds delayed and stuff. Exactly, Zen. Buttworm Hallway. That's a good name for a band. Might write that one down for later. Buttworm Hallway. What do they do? They do like emo songs with like a really clean verse section, and then they get heavy for the choruses. And then the middle 8 is like jazzy stuff, and then they bust back into the heavy chorus. That's what Buttworm Hallway does. Maybe.
I thought that they...
You thought what?
I don't know, some kind of like... dirty, immature punk kind of.
With a horn section.
If you like.
You got to have a trombone and a saxophone for immature stuff, surely.
You just reminded me of a fictional band that this person drew like a little cartoon of, and it's I really love it, but I won't remember enough details to relay any more than that, so now I need to stop talking about it, but I'm going to go look for it and find it because it was kind of cool. Well, they made a song and it had really cute little lyrics.
Yeah, well, thanks for that closure.
Yeah, I know.
Lead us into a concept and then just throw us away.
Sorry, it's because it just came and I had to start talking before my brain caught up and realized I didn't have enough information to actually share and make it an interesting story that time. Sorry.
Fair enough.
This isn't, my forte.
Got any recommendations while we're signing off? I'm still recommending That's What I Reckon. go and check that out on the Instagrams or the YouTube. Comedy Bang Bang, Freedom. I'm always recommending them. See you, Cuzval. Thanks for hanging out. And yeah, I might just pop some silly little song on, and we'll disappear gradually into the ether or something.
Or something.
Or something. Let's go with that. Why?
When Cover smashed his guitar up, he scattered mugs and froze. He wasn't on no rock road trip, he's blasting cup of sorrow. Mama's cop up to the door, her bum rush up for scare. Kevy, don't be naughty, Kevy, don't you care? 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 Pulled his pants back up and turned to face his mother. Oh, right now, instead of this cow, he wished he had a brother. Mama's eyes done wandered, interrupted Kevy's glare. Oh, Kevy, don't be violent, Kevy, don't you dare. Kevy, don't you dare. Kevy, don't you dare. Kevy, don't you dare. Kevy, don't you dare.
Go to bed, you freaking lunatics. That's all we've got for yous. Wow, that eye really is red. I might go and see a doctor.
Is it really red? It's only red from your thing, isn't it?
I don't know. I'm going to have to go and look in a mirror because it seems pretty brutal. All right. Anyway, I'll see you all. Or we even, because there's two of us. We will see yous when we's looking at yous. See you all. Thanks again. Have a great week. See you next Wednesday or Tuesday night, depending on your part of the world. Bye now.